After recovering from the desolation they encountered in an isolated village called Ellsdale, surviving members of the 3rd Daggerford irregulars seek to track the evil to its source. Following the trail left by a sinister man known only as Strakens, the irregulars came across a recently vacated warehouse in Mirabar, where members of the Purple Finch Society waited in ambush. Our heroes fought valiantly to subdue Strakens' agents, but as the dust clears, they have little to show for their efforts, and are left to ponder their next move carefully.
You stand outside of the building, surrounded by local people and guards people who are now taking your captives to the same barracks where the urchin who was trying to poison the well was also taken. And you have some decisions to make. You know that a series of wagons have recently left this location within the same period of time between when Thea looked into Strakens' mind and the mind of the Hive and was able to discern their location and have her mind in turn seen. And so Straken knew that he knew that she knew that they knew and that you knew. So within a matter of hours, they cleared out the warehouse to protect it from discovery and apparently planted an ambush in wait for you. The people who lay in ambush were members of the Purple Finch Society. However, those people themselves were not infected, and it seems that many of the agents of Straken in the city were not infected. This could be to do with the high-ranking members of various clerical orders who would probably reasonably quickly be able to track down a conspiracy of that sort in a city like this. Whereas in somewhere like Ellsdale, in a backwater community, our rot could thrive, completely unnoticed. What would you like to do from this point?
Probably not feeling as well. A bit bleedy.
If only we had a cleric or something.
Well, if only that cleric had some healing spells.
Somebody who
High five my local community. I'm going to bask in the moment.
There is
hold on.
Okay, well, Master,
there
Grandmaster,
is
Wizard, please give me
a big
charisma roll.
Still going.
Charisma
For your high five.
19's on the dice.
Oh yeah, they were really impressed with you. Some of the people were there earlier in the market square today. They're like, "Hey, Grand Wizard!"
Hey, no, it's all fist bumps. And okay, well,
I'm gonna
Thanks for
stand-
putting out that fire, Grand Wizard. We'd be
problem.
screwed if it wasn't for you.
yeah, no,
Standing
it's always
over
here to help.
everybody.
I like to put them out as often as I light them.
That's what we always say about the Grand Wizard. Grand Wizard's put out.
Yeah. I'm gonna stand
That's
over
what they
you,
say.
buddy. Dancing around underneath, buddy.
And
Oh,
the
yeah.
young guardsman is standing with you, Spear, and says, "We've got the captives secure, sir. We've taken them down to the local barracks. You need to come. If you want to question them, feel free to come by any time."
I'm just about to open my character sheet.
Sorry, what was that? Some kind of low-flying owl.
What do I need
Looks
to
around.
roll for healing?
A fluttering of paper.
Thank
It's
you.
around for minutes,
Yes,
so you'll just
we
be
may
full.
come to visit him yet later.
Like 1d6
Please hold
plus
him
something
for
per
us.
turn.
Is that what we're
Now
doing?
I have to figure out how to put that up.
Certainly.
I
Yes.
think I can just
Uh,
type it in.
So,
Right?
these fellows are all in cahoots.
All the same fellows.
Well, I'm worried that there's a conspiracy, so try to keep these ones separated from any other prisoners.
Well,
That's
you
a
said
good
you
idea.
found you found a signet ring on one of them. Is that correct?
Sure we did.
Yes, we
I
did.
did.
Is it this signet ring? Yes, that signet ring.
We all seem to have had momentary amnesia.
It was.
I slapped the elf. You buffoon!
We're breathing in too much of the fumes.
Yes, I don't know what they put in that thatching these days, but they certainly treat it with ammonia or something.
But as the wizard has said, I suggest we keep the prisoners separate so they can't collude.
Excellent idea, my lord.
Very well, Your Grace. I'll certainly take your advice and keep one of them out of the common room. But we only have a couple of separate cells in our barracks. It's not a high-end barracks, you know.
Or maybe bags over their head or something. Stop them from talking.
That's a great idea. We certainly have bags.
Have you put bags in their head as well? Also?
We do that with wizards. Yeah.
Treat them like wizards.
All right. He starts fishing around for some rags, oily rags that he keeps in his over-the-shoulder sling bag.
My eyebrow raises, mortified. Treat them like wizards. I'm paying close attention.
And then goes over and then open up. The captive restrains and he just shoves the oily rag in his mouth and then straps a bandage around his face and then covers up his eyes and then binds his hands up together, binding up his fists and strapping them down complete and then tying them to his body like this. There you go, that'll stop him. So they do those to the
standard visiting procedures.
And the guy that was poisoning the well, maybe he should be wizard bound as well.
Mental note: if I'm ever arrested,
Don't tell him you're a wizard.
I'm going to shove my clean hanky into my mouth.
Prep
early.
yourself. Good idea.
I bought my own wizard gags.
I always travel prepared.
Banana flavored. Yeah.
All right. So they hustle those people away. A small guard hand cart comes along. They're not a rich barracks. So a guard comes down the street. He seems to be like a slightly older, ruddy-faced, shorter, but still wearing a uniform. You see his boots are potentially overly polished, particularly nice for these streets. And he sort of like comes over a bit clumsy, sort of bundles the body, knocks its head briefly against the side.
Standard wizarding procedures.
Standard wizarding procedures, he says. Clumps it into the back of the handcart. And then
Mind your head as he slams it into the side of the cart. Over the edge.
And then a large dog that was previously unseen behind the cart. It's like some kind of a short-haired, but huge terrier style with sort of a snub nose and big jowly ears. Just sort of gets up on top of the cart and sits heavily on top of the prisoner. You see he's wearing a little Axe of Mirabar vest. His axe is painted on the side of it. Oh, all right, Ole, let's go. Picks up the handcart and trundles along, and half of the squadron, there were about a squadron of 6, go and accompany him back to the barracks, while the other 3 just stand around, ask a couple of questions, poke around inside, and seem eager to go back about their business.
We have a lead, right?
We have a lead, and we don't have a lot of time. Need to get ourselves down to the wall near the docks.
The
Can
wall
pay a
near the
visit.
docks.
Yep.
Why didn't you say so? Let's summon that nightmare.
That's
it a
a
walking
banish that
distance?
nightmare.
Pretty sure we can walk.
Is it a hurry or not? All right, let's run then. Let's run.
Just-
piggyback.
I think
Someone can
I
carry.
think we should move at a brisk pace in the direction of the docks, shall we?
Yes. Yes.
Now, we do have that friendly guy who was that friendly half-orc
It's okay, you're standing
who was
behind me
unfortunately, tied up in the square. He may have some word on the ground about particularly which warehouse we're aiming for.
That's good.
Should we visit him first?
We should totally visit him first.
I feel like stealth may not be on our side. I think we may have announced our presence.
Can we
quietly.
hang on? Do we know an approximate location?
Yes.
If we know an approximate location, can I use locate object in Madame Numa's miraculous undergarment
I'll say yes.
to get to the 400 yards? All I need is a sufficiently accurate description of
But we're
something we know to be there. So it's either what's his name?
Ian
What's the other guy?
Strucken?
Well, we don't
Strakens,
even
maybe?
know where the Strocket is there. Though.
But we do know that
We just
the
know that produce is-
vials
the vials are
of
definitely there.
the stuff there, and and I pull
You
out.
have some empty vials, that's correct.
No, but we also have some vials of the stuff that we've taken that we've saved from.
Also true.
But just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
But
We
the
need to make
locate
any
object will
zombies.
locate that one unless it's destroyed.
Fair. We do know there are those big barrels of wine that got taken, I think.
But didn't they have markings on them? Of some kind?
X's. The ones
X's
that
in
were
chalk.
contaminated, yeah.
Ah. locate object for a chalk X.
Barrel with an
Very
X on it.
thin.
Poison barrel full with an X on it. Barrel of poison with an X.
One
pretty
of you have
specific.
detect poison?
That's me.
But that's shorter range.
Should we move towards the docks more generally?
Absolutely.
And
Wait.
I agree that.
So
at
you're having this
point-
conversation as you leave the area.
Who is carrying me?
Alright,
We're not
A
running.
bit presumptuous.
One of the old townspeople who's been listening to the conversation saying, yes, who is carrying the Grand Wizard?
You, sir! And I hop up on his shoulder.
It would be my privilege, he says.
Got some acrobatics.
Also, does anyone need any healing?
I danced under Buddy and I
There was a buddy. Buddy
high
was up.
fived a lot.
Yeah, but yes.
Buddy was up, so everyone can come back to full health.
My character
Buddy.
sheet says
Oh.
good things right
Wow.
now. So.
Well,
How long
you
is
have
Buddy up
10
for?
rounds, so each person can roll 10d6. I guess if you
Probably
do
gonna be enough.
the conga line, but that's not true because he was up and he was down to he'd been up for 4 rounds at least by the time the combat finished.
But most people won't have more.
And
than
a lot of
21
you guys did things immediately
Yeah,
after that.
that's actually
so
very true.
You didn't. Or you're not yet used to structuring yourself into the conga line of health.
so maybe I'm not at full.
So unfortunately, you are where you are. Last time, you had made good use of Buddy while
Yeah.
it was up.
Friends with mushroom salad.
Okay.
I would probably need healing because I had 15 out of my 24.
If
You
I
have
can get a
15
2-point
remaining
high
health?
five.
Okay, you get a 2-point high five. And how much health do you need?
Yeah, what you can give us first doesn't
Nine
matter.
specific.
I'll give you 9 points of health. Yes.
Woo! And that will take me up to full. That's good. I don't have to figure out how to use this.
On a
So our
scale.
paladin is our healer, eh? Cleric.
Hey.
This is a
Look,
classless
we
society.
both can
Archmage.
channel
Most
divinity in
valuable
our own
member
ways.
of this party.
Our
thank
druid
you
is our
very
wizard,
much.
so what am I talking about?
So is that little old guy
Also,
carrying
do
you?
not forget
Did you
the
manage
gods
to
that
get
are
there?
leading us to our noble
Exactly.
quest. None of us would be here
All
without
of us
myself.
are here for
So
a
what-
reason.
You should hold on to the little guy who's carrying you with your finger in your ears.
Are you
His
carrying
ears,
him?
So he can't hear
Because
us
I don't
talk.
think you're carrying him
I'll carry.
You can't carry.
I think it's
Carry
very
the-
important
Bring it
that
back.
you don't underestimate the
Daggerford
power
Irregulars.
of the Grand
I,
Wizard.
Look,
I
he may be little,
I
but
pick
he
him
looks
up.
pretty dense.
I pick him up till that guy
Ah.
goes away, and then I put you on the ground. I'm like, then just give you like a with the staff. It's like,
Fine, we're all moving at 25.
Anyone have a
You
wheelbarrow?
were moving at 20 while Olgud was taking you. Olgud was an old, slow man.
Probably 15 on account of the beating, if we're honest. But,
How heavy are you?
oh, I'm wayfish. It says here.
I can carry
your
him, but that's
charisma
not the
versus?
point. The point is he can walk just fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
I just slow you down.
Grand
okay,
Wizard
my
slowing
arm
us
is
down,
just-
eh?
Because I can carry another 50 pounds.
Do not. I do not.
Does he look like
pick him
50
up.
pounds?
Stop enabling him!
Alright.
You will only make it worse. First it's carrying, then it's feeding. It's just it gets
He's-
weird fast.
He's just my friend.
Healing.
And I'm just a valuable member of this party.
Oh.
Friends don't use friends as car
I
horses.
give Zarya a hug and I walk on my own.
The best thing that you can give a friend is
Now
their
we
own
know guilt
agency.
tripping is the best cure for this. So,
That's usually the clerical domain. So we've got our Archmage as our guilt tripper.
It's normally a bard skill.
Yeah, true.
Letting down the team.
We're all mixing it up.
It's best to splash out.
Alright, so by this point, you've reached the central market once
Ah!
more.
Yes,
What a pleasant walk.
that's right. That was good.
I'll
And-
think about who would carry the wizard.
The cinders from the various, the cinders from the burned horse or cow that had been chucked over the wall is now just falling to pieces. It's now sort of going out. The bits of the fire are being stoked. A few people are fishing through for bones, which they take out. There's an old granny there who's looking through for bones to pop in a basket.
Sorry, a burnt horse?
The diseased horse
Oh,
that was
the-
catapulted over the wall.
That's right.
Are
Sorry.
the bones not diseased?
Well, if you burn them good.
I
She
see an
doesn't
old
seem
man.
to mind.
I see an old man putting rotten bones into a basket.
Yes.
Someone's getting.
Can I walk up to her and buy the bones off it for a silver?
Say, oh, can't eat money. Keeps putting bones in the basket.
Just got a point.
She's got you there.
But you can use the money to buy food, right?
But you.
But she's just putting
Town's
in bones.
under siege.
Is
Food's
she-
expensive.
Is she putting bones with meat?
No,
No, just bones.
it's bones.
Well, how diseased are these things? though?
She's paleo dieting. It's fine.
Excuse me. Ma'am, would you like me to cleanse those bones for you?
Oh,
Bless them
yes.
for you.
Oh, yes. And my bunion, too. She lifts up her foot. Oh, life's been pretty hard.
Oh, I hold up the scab that I got on my elbow from a fall as well while we're all queuing up. Looking at you.
She
Like, what
starts
exactly are you
undoing
gonna
her
do?
shoes,
sorry,
her leather
We're
shoelace
not
from her
operating under
hand-worn
any time
shoes.
constraints
Yeah,
here.
We're in a hurry, right?
Oh, Harry, Sally!
Sorry.
Oh, there's a benevolent cleric who wishes to do us a good
I
turn.
was just gonna purify your bones. But now that I actually look at them closer, I can't do horse bones. Any other bones I can do, but horse bones I can't.
Oh, Harry's arms clean broke.
But I don't. I
Is she
can't
distracted?
do one. I
Is
can
she distracted? I'd
only.
like to pull the bones just out of the side, to the side,
Man.
and bonfire.
Wish I
them.
had
Are you making me pick up dice, Peter? All right, she doesn't notice. One of the bones come out.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you have the bone now.
Yeah, I'd like to just mage hand it across, out just the side from her, and then purify them with a bonfire.
They've just come out of the fire.
You're putting them back in.
Hang on, so they're burning hot.
There was
Smoldering balls.
there was an animal.
Fresh
But
burning
the animal was
balls.
burning, right?
Yeah, but
No,
the
if I'm not
bones
mistaken,
didn't
it was an
fly.
ogre.
So you've created
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bonfire
It was an
next
ogre.
to
It
her.
was a giant
burn
rotted.
the ogre bones
ogre
again.
bones.
Oh, I just cast purify food and drink across the bones and the ogre. I'm like, it's good eating now. Let's get moving.
High five you.
She
I
doesn't
high-five
seem.
you.
She's like, oh, great, powerful wizard.
No,
Thank you so
I was just
much.
pointing out what the
Oh,
Grand Wizard
let's-
had done. It was
Won't
the
you
Grand
come
Wizard
to my
over there.
hole and have a small cup of stew?
No,
Tomorrow.
Oh, would you look? It's gold. I just throw like a gold coin. I'm like, look, it's gold.
You don't need gold.
Okay, so
Tell them
now
it's free tomorrow.
that
Let's
you,
go.
out of the darkness has slunk her two children, Harry and Sally, and this is like Harry's arm just hangs limply, the mild smell of almonds wafting from his general direction, and Sally's like, gold!
No, these people totally know where the carts have just been coming and going. Let's just ask them. Ma'am, the carriage that's been coming in here frequently. Would you mind telling the Grand Wizard where they've been going? Which warehouse?
Oh, well, they take all the manure carts to the furnace to burn for fire.
All right, to the furnace. Let's go. Thanks, old woman. You've done us a solid.
Oh, great! Oh,
Are they
Oh,
going to know where the carts
such a
are?
charming gentleman.
There's been a lot of traffic into this area, right?
This is the main market.
Yeah, this is the main.
Yeah,
go
let's just go.
We're
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to
right,
the
we're
docks.
going
What a
We're going to the
lovely
docks.
I'm over
conversation
there.
that was.
No.
This is the market where the ogre was. The biggest
like
thing
We
the-
were
ogre
traveling
went-
slower because you were being
crossed
carried.
a market because I'm.
The greatest
Alright.
challenge of the entire
Alright.
game.
Where is that? Where is that book? I'm getting that bloody nightmare.
I believe the
out.
market stuck you in last time as well.
Vanished.
That soul is old and withered.
Yeah,
It has,
you're-
it got-
You banished it.
You're only having sweet dreams from now on, sunshine. Your nightmare's been gone.
There's still a whole book full of notes here. I can look.
It's true. Well, you haven't really knuckled down to try and decipher the
That's
code
right,
once
we're
more.
in a
Sit down
rush.
with the ogre and the old lady. And
I used Mage Hand to move the book out slightly and then cast
Oh my
Bonfire on it.
He's holding on to it pretty tight.
Yeah, and I see the bonfire coming. All right, let's go.
You're just like somebody walking towards the bonfire, you're like, why? No.
I look around and realise we're still in the market. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Exactly.
Ooh, Sally's like tugging at you. Harry's like just.
I've never wanted
Onward,
to spell
men!
slot more.
Let us.
What is it,
quickly.
child? You got money and food.
Ooh. You talking
And
about Harry or
family.
Sally?
If you don't have family,
Sally
you
was
got nothing.
pulling on me, right?
No, Sally was biting into the gold coin.
Is that the broken arm?
One of them.
Yeah.
To cure wounds? Does that work?
Oh,
What are you
kind
doing?
of.
Why?
No,
No, we need to move.
No, we're in a hurry. Sorry, we're in a hurry. You'll be right. You've got gold. You can pay for someone else to do it, right?
This
We've
is what
okay,
we've become.
Go on up to the Temple of Saloon, ask for this lady. Now,
I-
flick over a little handwritten note.
It's unfortunate that
that's
they're a little...
fancy. Oh, it's very, very nice hand you have there. She turns over the back. She's
Yeah, I
expecting
know.
it upside down in earnest.
Yep.
I'm gonna creep
That'll
around
get
behind
you
these
in.
guys.
Temple of Saloon. They'll get that arm scene too.
This piece of paper?
Don't tell me how to pronounce my own culture.
But we waited in line for 3 hours already to get into the Temple of Selune, and they were full.
Well, that might help.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely worth a try.
Oh, we could sift through the people sleeping on the front steps. What do you think?
Let's go.
Alright.
Come on.
I'm gonna just keep walking through the market.
Okay.
Okay, is anyone else continuing to walk?
Yes.
Okay,
Going
there's
up.
another thing you need to learn as a noble, and that's just get the blinders on.
I
Straight
ignore
through.
you and keep walking.
Okay, so as you guys keep walking,
Because I'm
you
a fast
realize that once you get away from this central area, there were in fact a slowly increasing circle of other waifs, orphans, old men, and dejected people who have nowhere else to sleep, and so are just combing the refuse of the market square from the day to glean what they can from
Alright, we need to sort out the
what's
bigger
been left
problem
behind.
so that this can be sorted out
Exactly.
by itself.
Perspectives, people.
Yeah, I'm more focused on making sure they don't become zombies, enslaved to some kind of demon mind flare.
We
Well,
don't help
the-
dirt farmers
the-
individually.
The ogre is good eating now.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
we're
you
done.
for
Right,
that.
let's go.
Luckily, our mage solved it. Oh wait, cleric.
And,
Nope.
and at
Druid.
least they will be
Class
warmed
of
by a
society.
bonfire. Until I need it somewhere else. Oh god!
Warm for the rest of their lives.
All of 50 seconds.
Oh
Okay,
man.
move towards the docks. We
Yep.
gotta find this shipment.
Oh.
We gotta find Straken.
Right, to the docks, near the walls, to the wall near the docks.
There was the
The
man
house.
we
We're
saved.
There were
looking
warehouses.
for-
There were a row of warehouses. Your friend was not certain, Marius Dubois was not certain as to which specific warehouses, but he knew that the Tethered Owl Trading Company had holdings there.
And we also
Our-
had the guy we released.
Our
from-
half-orc friend,
Yes,
his house is down that
he
area.
lives in that area, that is correct.
He's bound to have some better local knowledge.
Let's look for
And
him.
he totally owes us a solid.
He said that he was living in a hovel on the west side of the docks.
Well, if it's
was
warehouse,
actually
Yeah,
on
which
the
is-
wall.
hovel, his is probably the hovel.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite possible. I mean, how many hovels could there be?
Exactly.
Oh no.
Just a town with refugees. Could
I'm
be that
gonna
many
look-
hovels.
Okay, everyone,
No,
look
we
for the
got it.
house with some
We got an
racist
actual-
graffiti.
He gave you specific details
Yeah.
on how to find his place.
Yes.
And if you're ever down there, but also you have specific details to go to the Axe's Embrace,
Oh yeah.
We can split up.
which is
and
all, they're
you
all
can
in the
go
same
down
area.
to
They're all in the
Same.
the
Eastern
Axis
docks.
Embrace.
The Axe's embrace. Yeah.
And
eastern docks of the southern city, because the city itself is split by the river and separated by a wall joined by 3 bridges.
That river.
2 of those bridges have been destroyed. The only one large bridge remains as a major thoroughfare joining the 2 cities.
okay,
I say we see our friend first.
yes, I agree.
All right, so you make your way through. Who would like to lead the way?
I can lead the way.
Okay, cool. Who's actually Thea's been there before? Thea, would you like to correct him on how to go?
Yeah,
Thea,
I
give me
let
Thea, give me
Let
some.
him lead, but you know, to the left. To the
Uh,
left.
What do you
To the
mean?
right.
I know where I'm going.
I think maybe one straight ahead.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Thea, can you make a survival roll? Use your proficiency if you don't have survival, because this is this city that you know. Look, you're just being piloted like a ship, or
12.
ridden like a druid as a horse.
12.
Awesome. You think you know the right way. I mean, it's dark.
totally
It's like
know where we're going.
about
A while?
10 o'clock at night at this
You have
point.
at least
10, 11.
14.
Oh, it's a little later than.
A little later. You guys
14,
went
yes.
for a 12 o'clock meeting. Is that right? No.
Yeah, it was like a midnight meeting. I think it was at least like 11:30 before we got there. Or
Right.
something.
So it's now about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'm sure he's still there waiting for his friend the Archmage.
Like every good NPC.
Well, he was meeting some friends there drinking. There was a group of them.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be leaving anytime soon.
I know you guys were trying to conclude your business in time to get to the 1 o'clock
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah,
Meeting.
yep.
1 a.m. right?
at the top. Yeah, you're trying to get there by 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So if you push it, you can definitely get there at this
Okay.
point.
Because I've been
Let's
drunk
do
3
that.
times today, and I wouldn't mind going to bed.
I thought you were going to go for number 4.
No, I'm already. It's just I'm sitting there like. No, and this is the nightcap though. This is the last bottle of the evening.
No. You need something to perk you up.
This is good. But come on.
So we're pushing for the meeting at the Axe's Embrace. So
Uh-huh.
as the Axe's Embrace is on time limit, should we go there first?
Sure.
Well, he's
Yeah,
arriving. He
we've
knocks off at 1 and he was going to be there after
We've got
that.
like an hour and a half before the Axe's Embrace.
Oh, okay.
So let's go see
So
this
we can.
guy.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, let's go. We can do all of this before.
No,
the-
you'll
Yeah,
be
it's
pushing to
now-
get to the Axe's Embrace by 1 o'clock.
And
This
it's
guy
now about
knocks...
1:30 or something, isn't it?
No.
Yeah.
I was
11:30.
wrong.
Let's kill Strakens.
No,
before-
it's
No,
not
it's
11:30.
not 11:30. We're pushing to get. It's
And
nearly
then
1
we-
a.m.
Almost
Okay.
1 a.m.
We
Let's
can
go
do
to the
our main
Axe's
goal, which
Embrace.
is
Okay.
getting this potion.
Yeah. Right. Axe's Embrace.
Right.
All right, you find your way there without too much trouble. There are several taverns around, but the tavern that is in fact occupied predominantly by members of the Axe's Embrace and various militia members is easy to find. You can see the people going in and out. You see the symbol on the front door, just two axes
Axe with
crossed,
some hands
tied
hanging.
together. Yeah, less that, more a few skulls just tied onto the ends of some sticks hanging out, and a couple of old watchmen just hanging out. You actually recognize the man with the hand cart, the old ruddy-faced
Hey.
man with the big paunch hanging out his hand cart, and his dog sitting there out the front on a little bench. He's feeding bits of gribble to his dog. But once he dropped off the corpse, he hitched the dog to the front of the hand cart, so he can actually move quite quickly through the narrow streets of
Yeah.
the city on a small cart.
Nice.
Need to think about that.
We should be
Tight
telling our druid
turns.
that
40
Druid?
town car.
dog racing works here. Just keep that in mind.
They actually do have money to buy horses and things. Anyway, not the point.
I'm not going horse shopping now.
It's like, he gives you a nod of recognition to, oh, my lord. Hollers in turns around into the tavern, sort of leans up, pulls up a curtain on the window behind you. He's like, hey, the archmage has arrived! Everyone's like, oh, I told you it was gonna get. It's like, as you guys now enter.
I'm silhouetted by a glow from a bonfire behind me.
Okay,
And I'm walking in slow
everybody
motion.
else. Okay, everybody behind him. Make an initiative roll. Make a dexterity roll, please. Dexterity.
I'm assuming I guess we're
That's
all
a
behind.
20.
Dexterity
Is he
saving
going in
throw.
first?
That's
Apparently.
24.
Ooh.
No, you're going in first,
That's
followed
an
by the
advantage.
archmage.
21.
Is this a saving roll?
Yes.
Hold on.
Wait.
How many times can
Saya
you
should
die?
have advantage because she sees this coming, surely.
9.
She's got experience with
How many
vast
points?
amounts
D3
flame.
points of damage or something?
Oh, it's D8.
Roll your D8, please.
Aww.
3.
Just the 3.
Yeah.
Oh, can I just tackle her out of the way?
To make a perception roll, make it.
16.
Yes. Now make a strength roll.
Oh, well, so much for that.
Two people in the fire.
Curse dice? Is it mine?
0.
You take 1 point of damage as well.
Did you
for
just-
putting your arms in the fire.
Did you see it literally leap in the fire? You're like,
Jeez. Oh,
To save her!
what are you wearing under that? Ah.
It's a romantic moment.
No!
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Yeah, you sure?
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't. I should have known it's burning.
Provided this makes
Face
an
is
excellent
warmed
entrance.
by
Oh,
the-
man, this is going to be the best possible outcome.
Yellow glow of the firelight. To have this discussion.
I just look up and take a look at the thatching. Is it on fire yet?
I wasn't inside. I did not do this internally. This is to make an entrance.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the awning.
There is a slim chance, look, that something has caught on fire.
No.
I know what you mean. Inevitable.
Okay, so a few pieces of broken barrel are blazing away. But the old man who's sitting at the front quickly goes over and starts waggling a blanket over the top of it.
Standard Archmage.
Oh, that old
Favorite
archmage!
Not my sitting barrel!
So you've made your entrance. You two
Oh,
are in front and center with the glow behind you. It's very impressive. You can both make performance rolls to.
Very much so.
Sure. Try and
Very
make
much
sure
interested in
it
that.
glints off my armor.
11.
16.
All right, cool.
Jesus.
Well, you know, they were.
He's a natural.
A little forced. I don't know. Maybe.
Look, between you, the shining armor it acts like a reflector from the fire. and sort of offsets your highlights. And people all instinctively see, because you throw your coat back, and they all see the insignia of the ruby circlet and the bejeweled hilt of your sword protruding from your armor. Like, oh, your grace. A lot more of them take off their hats. Please, Archmage, we've made a space for you on the stage. And your young friend comes up and says, thank you so much for coming. I told them all you'd come down, but I really wasn't sure if you'd make it. It's really wonderful to see you in person. Please, I have a seat for you, or if you want to go on the stage, can I please buy you a drink? Everyone, drinks for the Archmage and his honored friend.
Lord Wentworth.
Lord Wentworth.
Everyone, to time constraints.
I'll make my way to the seat they prepared for me.
Yeah, they have a table set aside. Obviously, he's sitting there. He has like 2 or 3 friends, some of who are younger and more impressionable. One of you is like an older veteran who's like nodding approvingly.
I've seen a lot of archmages in my time. What makes you superior to all the other archmages that I've seen?
Says the grizzled old gnome sitting there by the fireside at the end of the table. He's got a small eye, a large eye, a little axe of Mirabar hat jaunty to the side. It's more like a little beret thing, but a little
small eye,
narrower.
large eye. I say, look at him straight in the small eye. Well, sir, I don't find the need to outdo every archmage out there. Just be the best archmage I can be.
Good, make a deception roll.
Can I walk behind and also say, and he has a human familiar? I'm just on the way to the bar. I'll point at myself for just for an advantage.
Oh, so you fancy a game of cards then?
No, but perhaps a demonstration if we have the time. Do we have the time?
Do we have the time?
Once upon a time, I had an archmage walk in here.
And young Billy's like, oh, really? Yeah. Oh, is that right, Clementine?
Yeah.
An interesting story.
And that archmage, why, he made that there moose's head laugh out loud. We all had a good time then.
Yeah, he's told that story a few times. I'm sure it's true.
Quite short.
Given he's told it so many times, it must be true.
Do you reckon you could turn me into a toad, Archmage?
I could make that ass's mouth fart or sing in Elvish.
But you
Well,
all
at
look
least
over to the ass that's tied to the end of the bar, just like chowing into a bale of oats. Looks up. It's an old grey ass.
I don't know if I need to burn the spell
Spots
slot
on
on
it.
this, but
Will do anyway.
super tempted.
So we need to get that potion? Yeah, we're here for a potion.
Oh yeah,
That's
we're not.
right. Wasn't there a friend you were meeting here who had a potion?
You see Billy,
There was
your
indeed.
young friend. He's like, shh, on the down low. I'll sort you out. Just impress the old man, and we'll be able to get a lot more done.
So you've been traveling widely, I take it? Picked up any?
I was born here. I've lived here 350 years. And if that man stabs me, I'll likely die here.
Promises.
And a lot of other people in the bar are like, here.
To stabbing him.
Here. A few people like, here.
I gotta find me a kosh.
All right, okay, I've got this. Well, maybe just a small demonstration then, sir. And I walk up to the ass. And I say, I whisper in its ear, theatrically, and then I slap it on the ass as I cast Magic Mouth. And the trigger word is when I say, what do you have to say about it? At which point a mouth will appear on the ass's ass, and it will say, he's the best Grand Archmage I've ever seen, and if you don't agree with me, you're a bigger ass than me.
Okay. So give me an animal handling roll.
Slap.
That's 9.
Okay, and what is your intention when it comes to slapping the ass's ass?
Just as part of the thing of I have cast a spell.
Give me a dex roll.
It's a consensual slap.
Consensual, yes.
Is it though?
Dex is gonna be 16.
All right, cool. Well, that's awesome because the ass, all the hairs on the back of its neck stands on him, suddenly bolts, not knowing what's behind it and what to see, and then pushes its weight forward off its back legs and thrusts out wildly with both its back legs in your general direction. But you've been in this situation before. See story arc 1. And
That turned out fine.
and deftly dodge out of the way and make your spell. You cast a spell and everyone's paying attention. They don't even know that you've cast the spell.
Still can't fathom why he's not a druid.
And it just rustles and settles down a little bit. Little sound.
So I say, well, I scramble back up and I look a little bit embarrassed and I say, well, that was my attempt at a demonstration. How about that? Triggering the.
And what does it say?
Well, it says exactly what I said.
What was that?
From the ass's mouth, the Grand Archmage is the best wizard that I've ever seen, and if you don't agree with me, you're a bigger ass than I am.
Give me a performance roll.
Can you assist?
Yeah, you can assist.
I'm gonna help.
How?
Pockets full of glitter.
It always works.
No, I'm gonna swish my cape menacingly and like let my armor glint next to him and going, yes, he is the best mage I've ever met.
Okay, so there is this deadpan silence in the room as everyone just stands completely gobsmacked at the situation, and then suddenly Spear sidles in and says, yes, everyone's like, ha, 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 and the whole tavern erupts in riotous laughter. The old man's like,
Yep. I've never seen a voice coming from an ass before. That is something special.
Taps out his pipe, starts stoking it again. And the young guardsman comes up to you and is like, that was so great, really impressive. I mean, are you sure you don't want another drink? So, well,
we gotta get out of here.
While the kerfuffle is happening, obviously he's absorbed with the fans, you're distracting people. In the meantime, you're trying to do a deal. He was able to secure you 3 healing potions.
Wow.
Jeez. Which he will let you have for 40 gold each.
Done.
They're the standard healing potions. Right, that's...
Oh, actual healing potions.
Yeah.
Not the... Yeah, right.
Well.
Oh, and we get to see... Oh, these are the ones that the guards have in possession.
Yes.
But we're not...
That's why we're here.
He's raided the coffers of the guards, of the Axe of Mirabar's collection, and...
Right. But we were just here to allay our concerns as to whether or not they were actually being pushed.
Of course. So, but now you know
that.
you can examine them.
Yes.
So he's got 3 healing
Excellent,
potions for
awesome.
you. He'll get them for you at a discount rate because you're great and you've impressed everyone here.
It's also a battle field. We're in a siege, so that's a pretty good deal. Let's,
Yeah, it's a great deal.
Oh,
pass
look,
off
It's
the
an
money.
amazing deal.
if they're actually
Yeah.
healing potions, like that cake may
But-
come in handy.
While that deal is
ever
happening,
we is
you guys all have a chance to just fraternize with people here and
Ooh,
achieve
baby.
something if you so choose, which will take the same amount of time as him doing the deal with the healing potions while trying to continue to amuse people. Takes about 40 minutes really to get through this. So let's go around. Spear.
What am I doing?
Yeah, would you like to achieve anything while you're here?
No, I think that mostly what I'd be doing was trying to create polite conversation, looking
Okay.
for information such as rumors about what's happening with the war, and then I'm probably looking for that issue around the dwarves that's been kind of
Yeah, charisma investigation roll.
A charisma or investigation?
No, charisma investigation. So investigation using the charisma attribute. So you get your investigation if you have proficiency. You get your bonus.
But it will still be your modifier,
Investigation plus
so it's plus 2.
charisma.
So you're rolling plus 2.
All right.
Okay. 10. No, 11.
Okay, cool. Look, people are saying there's been. It seems like the orcs are really settling in. They talk to you about some of the different unit types. They're worried about, there's definitely some shamans out there doing some juju. Definitely some larger contingents of ogres people are a little worried about. No goblins. They think that's kind of strange. But they don't know much about the orcs. Bernard, you understand that the many arrow orcs particularly have very little respect for goblins. They think that their society is completely deconstructive and they're all about creating relative cohesion, and goblins don't lend well to that. They will sometimes keep them as slaves, but that's about it. Thea?
I might be having a go chatting to some of the locals, getting some good stories.
Stories?
Carry on
You want
with
some
my
stories?
travels. Yes.
Yeah, alright, cool.
Yeah.
Give me just a charisma roll.
14.
Wow.
Yeah, look, you run into a couple of old dwarves. What really strikes you about the stories that they're telling is it seems like they're verbatim rattling off a few things that are like, so there's the old dwarf is like, oh, it's really strange, we heard about these humans on the top side, and they've been getting into the back streets, and they've been finding dwarves and gutting them spleen to sternum, using their blood to write graffiti on the walls, telling us that we can't hide in our hole forever, says the old dwarf. That kind of stuff we don't abide. I mean, we in the Axe of Mirabar try and keep it real, but there's lots of young dwarfs in this town, and they don't like the cut of those humans' jibs. It's really driving a wedge, this kind of violent activity. It's bad enough we've got the orcs at our door. It should be a sign of unity, a time of unity. Not division. But, it makes me wonder what kind of humans are out there. Maybe there is, if there are people willing to do this. Maybe there are some who want our homes, our riches. He looks around a bit nervously. You can tell he's genuinely affected by it, even though his friends here are humans.
Tragic, awful. War brings out the worst in people.
You don't say so. Pearl?
I'm gonna basically just skulk around a little bit. Is there an under-the-table black market going on in here? Is there anyone aside from the Axe of Mirabar guards?
Give me a perception roll. I'll give you advantage because of your underworld affiliations.
6. That would be a 9.
No, these guys seem totally above board. Absolutely cherry on the cake.
10.
Well, they're doing some under-the-counter dealing because obviously they're selling you potions, but when they're not supposed to. But, apart from that, they all seem like pretty stand-up chaps.
Oh, that's good.
Looking for organised criminal element in a police bar. That's
In a police bar under siege.
Well, if you're gonna find an organised criminal element, you're finding it in a police bar.
Yeah.
May I make a perception check on Carol?
Yeah, sure.
You're just watching him the whole night.
My best side is the
we
right.
can do that. I'd like to make a perception check on Carol.
Everyone can make a perception check on Carol.
17.
And what would you like to ascertain?
Nothing in particular.
I want to ascertain, seeing as I've maybe noticed some of his dodgier dealings.
Uh-huh.
You can't
Just-
spell ascertain.
Shush you. You cannot tell them what to think in their head.
Seeing I've seen him do some dodgy dealings, I just want to watch him just for a little bit and see if he's
Dreamy.
doing some dodginess.
No, he seems to be just looking around, trying to investigate. Seems very casually just checking people out, being aware, being alert.
Okay.
Making sure the dirt isn't catching on his fine clothes, polishing his studs.
Alright. I may go out
They're
and
very shiny studs. You notice they're almost mirror reflective in some places.
I'm gonna go, if I have a moment, I'm going to go and pray then.
Alright, cool. Give me a percentile roll.
Where do you go to pray?
Outside.
Oh, gods forgive me.
You stand.
The dog
Yeah.
Designated praying zone.
cart
It's got a little painted bit on
78.
the ground.
You go out, you stand there. It's pretty overcast this evening, but you give a prayer. You feel the warmth of the moonlight coming in. You feel that connection. You feel the twin stars moving inside of you. You feel like you're going in the right direction. August.
I'm getting drunk
Uh-huh.
by drinking wine, beer, or liquor, whatever comes in the largest, cheapest receptacle.
Oh, largest, cheapest?
It's about finding the
Wine.
So one stein of wine.
Jugs. They have jugs.
Jugs. Oh, even better. Does it have fruit in it?
No.
We'll chug a wine on it. I'll put some cheese in it. And I'm actually going to talk about.
Wine and cheese nut.
Feety.
Has anyone seen these fucking poisonous stamina potions going around?
Give me a charisma investigation roll.
That is a 12. Unless you can go off my persuasion. But otherwise 12.
People are like, no, I've heard of them, but good to know. We'll talk. And this is like, hey, tell me more about them.
Pull out the bottle. I'm like, this is what they come in, and they will make you feel amazing, and then they will infect you with this horrific fungal poison and just eat you from the inside out. So they'll be cheaper than healing potions.
Rumor milling. Okay.
I'm just getting the truth out there. We keep sitting on
It's
this
all
thing.
rumor milling at the end of the day. It's something that people don't want to know, don't know about. You might be telling the truth. You might not be telling the truth. Whether or not they're going to believe it, it's going to depend entirely on your roll. Let's give me a rumor mill roll.
Oh, this
Let's,
is important, man.
Just rumor mill a skill.
It's charisma. It can be performance. It can be a low roll. I can take it like a facial expression.
It's a reverse insight roll. That's a 10.
You're not sure how it catches, but some people, at least the 10, 15 people you've talked to in the last 40 minutes are aware of it.
Mhm.
And they're talking about it in earnest. They say, can we have the bottle?
We have a couple of these, don't we?
From the last
Yeah, I
round.
think so. Don't you have any actual?
Did you take all? There were like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, we did.
But don't you have like any? Like you've got.
I'll take 15
Yeah,
minutes to
yeah.
like
I've
the
got.
same bottle.
make it clean.
I've got what's
It already was.
Is it in the same
And then
bottle
I'll
as
hand
the
it over.
Daggerford?
I'm just like, anyone that
no.
you see with these things,
Oh,
just
yes.
steer away.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
They will bad things. We've already seen a town that was nearly killed by them.
All right, so 120 gold. Deduct it from whoever's keeping track of the money.
We've all got our individual money.
Great.
Everyone.
And whoever
Well,
wants to
I did this deal. I'll,
When did this
I'll,
All right, cool. And what would you like to do now?
I've got ripped off.
Bed.
Ed?
What?
No, we've got to go.
No, we're not
We're
going
on
to
time
bed.
constraints.
Time constraints, people. Look at where that moon is.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning. At this point.
We need to visit our
We can rest there, right?
In a hovel?
Don't have time. We need to get to the hovel, and then we need to raid a warehouse.
Why don't we just go to the warehouse and cast locate
don't.
objects? Because we know in the vicinity it's in, and locate objects like 1,000 yards.
We can give that a try.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll pass that on the way to the hovel. If it doesn't work, then we'll go back.
so, have a healing potion.
Thank you.
Just in case.
Have a healing potion.
Thank you very much. I'll add it to
It's
my...
true, but as a cleric, you don't do a lot of healing, do you?
It's mostly our druid / mage that does the healing.
Sick burn. Druid, have a healing potion.
No. This way you can maybe tip it in someone else's mouth.
That burn was so good, you're an honorary archmage.
No, she's been burnt.
Yeah. Now you're twice the healer. I handed the second healing potion.
I storm into the night.
Okay, so leading the charge.
Both healing potions.
Does anybody follow Saria as they storm into the night?
It's probably for the best.
I
I
will.
thank our hosts
Uh-huh.
for the hospitality, and then I follow Saya into the den of the
Finally,
night.
somebody is appropriately moving quickly.
I leave them a couple of extra dollars, and I'm keeping the stein full of wine. I get a
Okay.
top up before I go. A
Cheese
little
orders are
traveller.
Slightly faster than normal.
Yep. Let's just drop a couple of extra silver. That's fine.
As soon as the Lord leaves, I stand up and say, "Our Lord's business waits for no mage." And,
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Archmage. We really appreciate you coming by. Look, anytime. I'm here every night.
love you guys.
Okay.
Gosh, what a guy. You hear whispering off into the night as you all make your train behind Saria. And which way are you heading?
Okay,
We're
everyone.
heading towards the
warehouses?
The docks.
The Half-Orc's house. Yes.
Yes.
Well, you are now in the docks.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we're heading towards the Half-Orc's house on the
And
way.
the plan is to cast the locate object on the way because
Yes.
we'll be within range soon.
Yeah, you start to see the looming shapes of large storehouses, and more to the point, like down the end of Tupper Street, where this building is, and it's all very tight packed. Suddenly, the way opens up into a large loading thoroughfare, which you imagine served as a main artery from the docks to filter through the various markets of the southern city of Mirabar. As you get onto the main street, Dock Way, you can see down towards the docks are these huge sort of peaked roofs, large shapes of these warehouses. And you assume somewhere around and probably intermingled potentially in some of the more dilapidated warehouses or in other places, in multi-story, unregulated buildings, probably hovels or apartments or subdivisions where people would live.
Is this a sort of layout where I might get a better view from rooftops at all? Or would it just be
The
a
rooftops,
sea
and
of-
you look at these rooftops and you're like, easy to climb up to. Kind of a bit dangerous to be up there though, because they're just a bit rickety.
Yeah, climbing hasn't been so great.
Hey.
Like, just saying. Just saying.
But how's this? If I cast
But yes, you
locate
could-
object and we get a ping, it's just a direction.
Yep.
You're probably going to need some sort of, as the crow flies.
We could have a crow.
They can't fly.
We can have a hopping
But
crow.
we could-
As the crow is thrown.
as the crow is.
As the crow is throwing mage hand.
Because it doesn't say anything about a glide speed. So if you can get me up there, I can just be like,
Have some rudimentary slingshot.
I'm sure you'll be less than 5 kilograms.
I'm much less than 5 kilograms.
That's a crow, so
Mage hand.
Mage hand.
mage hand, you could fly with mage hand.
Yeah.
No, they will keep it. It's like turn it around, you can just hold me up.
I just go, and you go, and then
Bounce,
25
bounce,
feet,
bounce.
chuck the bird. Alright.
See, genius! Perfect. So we're using locate object?
I will cast it.
Yes.
Well,
But,
it lasts 10 minutes.
Oh.
It does
Oh.
last 10 minutes, yes.
And you guys are heading in the
Concentration.
direction, and on the way to where you believe you're going, to the Orc's house, he's
We
giving
might-
you a few directions. You turn left off Dock Way, by the warehouses, and then you'll find a series of hovels. You look particularly for a cluster that has 3 lanterns hung out the side at all times of night, and just ask anyone around there for the family name.
Shall I cast locate object on the walk into this guy's place, or after we've got some?
I think we should focus on it afterwards.
Yeah, if we're
To be
pretty much
honest.
there.
Well, why
he may
are we
know,
going to there?
We're gonna.
We're going to ask where
Talk
For
to
a
him
lead
first.
of where to start to
where to
look.
start.
Yeah.
Well, we may as well start looking now. Like the,
Yeah, on the way.
it's 1,000 yards. It's a quite
1,000
especially
feet, 300.
300 meters.
300. That's substantial.
It is.
In a I
It's
know
like a
it's
third
a
of a
large
kilometer.
city.
Yeah.
It's if we're walking through a warehouse district, chances are you'll probably ping something.
What is it you're looking for when you cast it?
Barrel with a chalk X on it. Is that right?
Barrel with chalk X
So,
on it.
Yep.
Ooh,
Poison
oh.
Specifically a
A barrel
Poison
full of
filled
poison.
barrel
Poison-filled barrel.
with an X on it.
Alright, you set it off. Originally, nothing. But as you start making your way down, you do start to get a ping.
Wait, I think the strange feeling in my
Is it time?
is it's that way.
Go! Yeah!
What's that, Lassie?
And I run up to a brick wall and go, it's that way.
Okay, cool. There are a few. Most of the light on the street at this point is from the occasional. It's overcast at the moment, so there's a bit of light filtering through from the moon. But apart from that, it's pretty dark. But there is light that spills out of various windows here and there. There are no lanterns on the streets as such. It is pretty dark. But on every street corner, they have a stone pillar that has a fire that's permanently in it. Seems like a gas fire, possibly through some underground network of gas that runs through the whole of the city. They seem very solid, part of the foundations, the old dwarven foundations of Mirabar. Apart from that, you see some light spilling over from a pie shop, kind of in the direction you're going, and you're also hit by the smell. I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to eat tonight. You're certainly very drunk.
Look, I've had a good mushroom.
Oh, true. No, you're fine then. Regardless, there are still probably about 15 people hanging out at this pie shop. A bit of drinking and revelry going on. It seems like they don't only serve pies. But also, old dock workers who are no longer employed seem to be hanging out there. And they're a smattering of different nationalities and racial orientations from all up and down the coast.
We're in the docks at night in a city in siege, and this is the happiest scene I've ever seen. How many of them are zombies? Gus?
Give me a minute. I'll take time to cast.
You take 10 minutes, cast the ritual.
Mhm.
Just one.
So you all stand there awkwardly in the
10
night
minutes.
while Gus goes over.
Are you casting a 10-minute ritual to do this?
I don't have many spell slots left. I'm assuming at some point we're going to want pass without trace
Just one
as
of
we
them.
approach.
I can just do it myself.
Do what?
I can just cast Divine Sense.
That'll tell you if they're undead.
That will tell me if anything
Good.
I look like is undead. I can
Go
do
for it.
3 times per long rest.
Oh,
So.
cool.
Yahtzee.
Does your wand work in a cone? Can you just,
No, because you'll
What
just
do you want?
if they've not done anything wrong, you'll sober them up. That's just
So I
rude.
can cast Divine Sense, which means I can see fiends within an undead within 60 feet.
Yep.
Of my location, as well as knowing the location of anywhere that's been affected by a hallow. I think.
Hallowed or
Consecrated or
Consecrated,
desecrated.
yes.
Grounds.
That's right.
What's the death?
All right.
Desecrated.
So you put it on. It lasts for 10 minutes as well. Is that correct?
It doesn't actually say how long it lasts.
permanent.
Oh,
No,
wow,
it's
that's
definitely
pretty
not
significant.
permanent, No. Because I can only
Um,
do it 3 times each long rest. So.
You only need to do it once.
Okay, we'll figure out. For the moment, you put it on, and you start walking towards the pie shop, which is on the way. You do get a ping from inside the pie shop, but just one.
Interesting.
As you get close to the pie shop, you get another one, probably at the very extreme of 60 feet, somewhere in some of the hovels to the left. As you move down this street, you can see there's a line of warehouses on your left-hand side going along the wall. That's the direction your sense is taking you. And then on the right-hand side, it's just a line of sometimes warehouse, but then lots of very cheap accommodations and housing, lots of cobbled together buildings of wattle and daub construction with either thatched or sometimes tiled roofs, just built higgledy-piggledy one on top of the other. Various little courtyards sort of wind in off the main street. It's quite a warren inside the block to your right at the moment, whereas the left is just regimented warehouse. Every now and again, an alley sort of leads off, and again, further winding into the warren, into the blackness of this warren.
But my sense is that the barrel we're looking for is in the warehouse area, not the warren.
That's correct, yes.
And
The
I
line that
sense
you are, it's like
there's-
somewhere over there.
And I can sense like 2 undeadish or something.
Yeah,
of
and
that
then you get
kind.
closer again, and there's another one sort of further down, coming into the very edge of the vision.
Mm.
So one's like 30 feet into the warren, or 60 feet into the warren. It's 30, 60, you say?
It's unclear.
Okay. One's
It's at 60 feet, but it's a one-off ping, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
so.
okay. So one in the pie shop, one 60 feet to the right into the warrens.
Okay.
You think we should go past without trace?
What does that give us?
Plus 10 to
Heaps.
stealth.
Tons of stealth.
Well, are we
Is that not a
are we
ritual?
doing this now?
Hmm? No, I'll just cast it. Because if we're going to head towards this warehouse
We
and
want
there's undead around, we want to not be noticed. This spell like sucks light and shadows and just makes us.
They knew we were
I'm
coming
all
last
for
time
it.
because I
That's
know
totally
the
worth it.
importance of the
Yeah.
hive mind.
Yeah, that's good. That's good adventuring.
All right, group
Well done,
group,
guys.
By
group,
the way,
group
there's
hug, guys.
some
Group
undead
hug.
around.
Group hug. Group hug.
In case you guys didn't hear me say it out loud before, there's some undead in the very general vicinity.
Well, we
Isolated.
definitely-
That's why I want to do
Not a big
the.
cluster.
Keep-
no,
keep
there's
us
only,
hidden.
I've only seen a few.
Well, yeah.
Pretty far away at this point, but
All
There
right.
hasn't been many in
Get
this
friendly
town.
definitely
people.
infected in the area.
All right,
Well,
I'll give you all a mushroom, which is a good mushroom, just in
A
case you
good
haven't
one.
eaten today.
Well,
Yep.
does the good mushroom do anything, or is
Gives
it
you
just
one
tasty?
hit point. It's a good berry. One hit
Oh.
point,
This is not that
and
The
little-
is a full day's worth of food.
Man, you're bony.
And then we'll go for a group hug, and I'll cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay. So I eat my berry because I don't think I have eaten in a while. Not since the cheese.
Wow.
Not since the cheese.
Like
Drinking.
a
So as you cast
Pass without trace.
Pass without a trace. And you make your way past the pie shop with as much stealth as you can. Please, everybody make a stealth roll.
So this is a group check, right?
This
So
is a
we're
group
taking
check.
our middles.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, great.
More than half of us.
Do we just get a plus 10?
Straight plus 10.
On that.
Oh, we get a plus
And
10?
all you,
Yeah.
as well as all your usual
So I'm a
bonuses.
16.
we have a plus
We don't
You rolled
use
a
our
6?
plus?
Yes.
Four.
No, it
But-
adds
but
on.
you're four plus
But
two.
you roll with disadvantage because you're wearing heavy armor.
Couldn't get worse. It didn't get worse.
So
Ha.
low.
That's good.
What did you roll?
Yes, it is.
Well, I rolled an 8.
So 18.
18.
Jeez, you'd hate to roll as low as 18.
Alright, so 18, 15, really?
Yeah, I rolled a 1.
Oh, nice. 15. Pete.
What did I get? 18?
14.
14? No.
Oh, you rolled a
16. I rolled a 16.
18.
I got a 16.
Okay, cool.
34.
31.
28.
Awesome.
We pull that average up. We pull it up.
Nobody seems to notice as you pass by the pie
in
shop.
front of everybody else.
With tender rounds.
You keep
and-
moving.
Somehow.
Also, nobody seems to notice as a couple of guards wander by with a lantern. They don't seem to see you on the other side of the street. Some Mirabar militia type just move on by. And you keep going in the direction. Eventually, the ping gets stronger and stronger.
Mhm.
And you see now there is a warehouse and there are lights on in the warehouse. There are only like 2 very high windows, but both of them seem to have a flickering firelight illuminating as if from some tapers, torches, or possibly an oil lamp that burns inside.
I'll say telepathically to you, I'm pretty sure that it's this one in here, and there's some lights on upstairs. Maybe if that series of gestures means you're going to climb in through the window, I'll let the others know.
Yes, it does.
Alright, so you hit the side of the warehouse, Pera, and start scaling up. It's reasonably easy. The warehouses in this area are quite old, and while they've been maintained, there are plenty of footholds. It doesn't take long to just get up to the
It's not
top.
an old disused
Also, the roofs in this area are well maintained as well, so it's quite easy to move along the warehouse side.
luxurious.
You get a good view of all of the hovels as well. There, occasionally, 1 or 2 hovels have been built up so high that they just like peek up as high as you are, and you can like look across and see someone like trying to read something to a candle or like scraping away and inspecting their armpits in the darkness.
Human cities.
The smell also seems to you get the smell of a tannery come over. Stark ammonia. Ooh. And as he makes his way across the rooftops, what do you guys do? Do you stay in your current location? You're about 4 or 5 buildings away from the warehouse at the point that he climbs up.
No, I think we should get up to it and get to a bottom level entrance.
Because I can get Buddy up there as well.
Chuck a stick in through the door and close it.
All right. So who's leading the way?
Hmm?
Who's leading the way of the 5 of you?
I'll take this one because he's got the ping.
Okay, cool. So I need you to make a perception roll, Bernard,
Certainly.
and also you, Pearl.
Perception? No.
9.
Maybe I should lead the way.
There's a lot of numbers on
My
these,
climbing
right?
was great.
I
Perception.
prefer 1.
7.
Just 1.
You guys all still have the pass without trace on, though. That
Mhm.
lasts for like an hour.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And that's within a certain range.
No,
Him.
was it
Was.
on activation or was it we need to stick with you?
I think we need to stick with him.
You have to stick within 30 feet.
30 feet. So you guys just go along the bottom of the warehouse and you stay close, yes?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm going up to one of the windows. I'm presuming it's not more than 30 feet up.
The thing is, the roofs are butted hard together against each other, so there's no window that comes out the roof, as it were.
We also can't be tracked.
The windows are high, so you can go lean over the edge and sort of you'll be able to get a view down in,
Okay, yeah.
potentially. Now, these warehouses are all built hard up against the city wall, and it's probably about maybe 2 meters from the back of the warehouses up to the edge of the wall, so it's not a far stretch for you to actually get onto the battlements and look over if you wanted to
Oh, okay. Sure, why not?
from this point. But
Discreetly.
Everything I do is discreet.
these warehouses
Except for
are
clothing.
Shut up.
50 feet in length, though. They're quite long. Well,
It's all about style.
probably about 60, actually.
Understated.
60? That's still not very big. They're 100 feet in length. So they're pretty broad. So if you did go that far, you'd come out of the range of the pass without trace.
If I go back into range of you, do I then get the benefit?
Receive.
For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you has +10. So yes.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, cool.
Regardless of which, you guys now
Yep.
approach the warehouse in question, and you are all together. You are out the front, and at this point, I get everybody to make a perception roll, please.
Perception roll time.
That's 24.
I improved.
Me too.
Not massively.
15.
Pearl, what did you get?
14. It's better than the 7.
Okay, cool.
At this rate, I'll get 28 next time.
So, Pearl, you spot somebody else on the roof
What the fuck?
of the warehouse in question. They are slinking down the far end next to the wall. They haven't seen you yet. You've sort of come up the peak of the neighboring warehouse and sort of slid down, and you can see across, and you sort of catch sight of just a glint in someone's eyes. They're looking out. They're wearing sort of Hessian, dark Hessian attire, and they're just really sort of just bunkered in there, and they just haven't seemed to have noticed you yet. Down on the ground level, you guys have also come up, and that small pile of boxes and rubble just to the right of the door, you see the movement of a foot as it sort of recoils back in, and you realize that there is someone there. But at this point, they haven't noticed you, you've noticed them, but you are literally within 3 meters of their position. You, on the other hand, Peral, this person is at the far end, like 100 feet away from you at the other
Does
end of
this
the warehouse.
person look like a scout, or do they look like another independent businessman?
Yeah, you can tell by the snazzy array of watches and fine jewelry that they're probably just they seem like an unshapely mess nestled in the corner, like they've made a nest, and it looks like they've been there for quite some time.
Probably a scout.
No, sleeping homeless person.
It's a
They're
pretty
watch.
high
They're
up
on watch.
sleeping homeless person.
Their eyes are definitely open. That's you caught the glint in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
moonlight off their eye.
Am I on? I'm safely on the roof.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Great. Can I? I'll ready a bow. Draw an arrow. Line it up. And wait for the sound of
Bonfire!
I'm going to try and I want to try and get closer to the person.
Yeah, you're welcome to. I mean, you're gonna be pushed. As soon as you do that, you're gonna be out of the range of his
Yeah,
pass without trace.
I should just kill him.
But you won't be able to just kill him, and then there's all that noise.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't matter, because he's got +10 on his stealth check.
Not once he just kills him, though, because then he'll be outside the range. Are you going to
If I
fire from
just
there,
kill him from here.
and then take the hide action with your cunning action?
Yeah.
But it won't kill him, though, will it?
I
You're going to kill someone with one arrow?
It'll only murder a homeless person
Yeah.
who happens to be a good climber, but it won't kill an
That's right.
assassin
If
who's
you
on the
kill-
roof killing you. But it is a good jump on that said person.
Meanwhile, all of these thoughts are racing through your head, and you're, should I, shouldn't I? On the ground level, you've seen this foot retreat. You're
I did not see
you're
it.
all startled by it.
I have to say, I rolled a natural 1. I poked
Oh, okay,
myself
great.
in the eye. I absolutely did not see it.
I-
Gus, are you doing this to me? I understand what that means. So are we rolling initiative? Because that means bonfire. That's the
No,
international symbol.
there is.
I want to
you guys
see
would like
a
to-
bonfire.
If you guys would like to roll initiative amongst yourselves to see who initiates the horror of this transaction, then you're welcome to. Otherwise, I'm quite happy for you to just act in whatever order you see fit.
Is there a window near that warehouse?
There are 2 windows, but they're high, narrow windows.
A little. I'm going to have just Buddy going.
Okay, so you want to meditate?
No, I can have Buddy because I can communicate telepathically with Buddy.
Uh-huh.
And just like, telepathically.
So Buddy flies up.
Like, what are you seeing there?
With your
Bud?
mind.
You guys are all just
And I'll ask
standing
him
still.
telepathically,
Yeah.
does that sequence of symbols mean bonfire?
I like point at my foot And I point at the thing.
One with a rope would go really well.
Okay, so Buddy rises.
Buddy rises.
Buddy's like, there's a. How does Buddy communicate?
Telepathic.
Okay, so he's telepathically. I thought you had to go inside of his brain.
No, I can
meditate.
control him telepathically, or we can communicate telepathically. So I can't ride his senses, so I have to ask him questions.
Okay, what are you asking him?
What do you see?
He says, I see. It looks like some kind of farm.
Like a fungus farm?
Yeah.
How many people are in there?
It's a grow shop.
I can't see people specifically.
Alright.
Maybe bits of
Surely I
them.
can just go.
There are
dagger at the throat,
like 30
drag
people
out,
walking around.
bit of
They seem
grappling.
pretty busy, doing stuff.
Okay, sounds like we found.
There's a flashy guy who's sitting at the end of
Does he
it.
have a silver thing around his head?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
There's also some wagons there. Anyone can make
I'm
it.
gonna start sneaking towards stealthily moving towards the closest door
Okay.
or entryway.
Give me an investigation roll.
Keeping an eye out for,
Apple sellers.
people. Yeah,
Like-
sellers.
Tell me what to do.
Definitely an apple seller. What did I roll? I tell you.
Investigation, yeah.
I rolled a 19.
Okay, cool. As you get closer to the door now, you can see that coming in and out through the door, there are lots and lots of very fresh, very recent wagon prints. And it seems like the area, particularly around the door, is quite damp.
Right. And this person is still ducked behind the barrel-y bits.
Yeah,
there.
so there's a doorway ahead of you. There's a doorway. Spear has just moved ahead to be right next to the doorway and is now almost in front of it. You're right next to the mud and the tracks. And just now a meter, and you're just on the other side of the pile of boxes and barrels from this person who's right there within striking distance.
Can we all take a ready to action to
Murder?
simultaneously smack to subdue this guy behind the barrels? Like,
Can
we'll
I?
just like.
So he's hiding behind his barrels.
It looks like he's just sitting behind the barrels.
I'm
Hiding.
gonna.
Hiding,
keep it
yeah.
casual.
Skulking.
Can we simultaneously bum rush him?
I'm gonna
But
continue
if
walking
he's
past him.
undead,
actually.
Struggle will know anyway.
I'm gonna continue walking past him as though I'm just walking ahead of my party, moving
You're
further
invisible,
down the
remember?
street.
Okay.
There's no roof.
Seems
that
you've got
we're
a cloak on
walking
too,
anywhere.
right?
Yeah.
Is it a very rich cloak or a very ordinary cloak?
She's still being. Are you,
I
mean, is there any
are
other
you
sword?
breaking
What's-
stealth?
No,
Are you still wearing one of Madame Numa's cloaks? Or have you got like
I'm
a...
walking away from you, so.
More than 30. But are you walking away and breaking stealth like I'm just walking on the street? Or are you still
That's
trying
what
to
description
stealth?
I got.
Yeah,
You were
that's
trying to
my
look
intent,
ordinary.
yeah.
What I need to know is
Do you
what
look rich?
coat
No.
are
I
you
was wearing.
currently
So
wearing?
I was wearing like a wintry cloak that
There
was,
goes our
as far as I
stealth.
remember, I
There
was
goes
wearing
our
like a.
stealth.
We might as well just kill them now.
Shush, please,
Okay.
finish. This
I
is
was-
important.
As far as I recall, I was wearing a regular style cloak on top above my armor.
Fancy armor.
Exactly for this reason.
Okay, cool.
Like I think I stole one from a soldier.
I ready in action of bonfire as soon as the
So the
stealth-
person-
We're ready in
Yeah.
actions for this guy, right?
Yeah.
Come on, we'll be alright.
So you guys don't notice anything different because you can't see the guy based on the fact that you're all pushed up against the wall on the other side of these barrels. You're walking casually. Do you cast a casual glance back?
No, I'm gonna just continue. I'm relying on all these guys to watch whatever happens.
Oh, great, awesome. You continue walking, and you're walking and keep walking. You got 10 feet away, 15 feet away.
Can I
20
grab
feet
Spear?
So you're gonna walk
From
past as
where?
well?
Behind.
I'm like,
Am
surely we
I?
need to,
Is
like,
Spear still in the
can I
first
just turn
feet?
into? Can I just wait?
Yeah, but she's not stealthy.
Can I just turn into the next
Go.
alleyway near,
Yes.
like the next time that I come to a
Yes.
corner?
Hey, take the guy
So
with subdue.
there.
Alright.
Sorry. There happens to be there is no alleyway between the warehouses, but you could cross the street and you see an alleyway on your
Okay,
right into
I'll do
the.
that. I'll cross the street and break down and stop in that alleyway.
All right,
See
cool.
if this
So
guy has reacted
you
to
guys
someone
spear
being
cross. See spear across the street, duck into an alleyway.
Is the guy reacting?
No.
Mm.
Well, you can't see what the guy's doing, so you don't know. He's literally
That's
on the other
right.
side of these boxes. You haven't moved out away from the wall. at
we
this
have
point.
to assume
You're all
Even though
hiding
you're
from
all
him.
something.
stealth, you're like, no.
And I call 3, 2, 1 countdown, and once you started walking out and like has blown the cover, 3, 2, 1
Right.
in their heads, and then I'm leaping to attack the guy with subdue.
All right, cool.
So while I was
Assuming-
walking past,
Correct.
at some point while I was walking past.
We're
all
going to
came
get to that. We're going to get to that. All right. So
Distraction.
Bernard says telepathically, counting 3, 2, 1. You guys going to do anything?
Yeah, we're gonna attack on.
Oh, you're not all going to grab Bernard and restrain?
You may, but I saw a from Saria, so I'm
All right, cool. So I'm going to start with the least affected people. 3, 2, 1.
That
What are
would
you
be
doing?
me.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Oh, I can dive over with my dagger, try to muffle the mouth, and dagger at the neck.
Okay, cool. Great. Give me a dex roll.
I'm really good at ones today, but oh, that's better than a 1.
The 2.
So no, it's actually 14.
14 times
Plus
better.
3. That gives me
17.
17.
Wow, okay, cool. Yeah, so you jump over, muffle the mouth, dagger to the throat. What are you doing? 3,
Oh, I'll
2, 1.
I'll just chill touch him.
Which happens from a distance.
Yeah, I'm just like this. This is like necrotic hands. Like,
Okay, do you make an attack roll?
yes, I do.
Does it make him cold?
It makes him necrotic. It's
Oh,
a 14 on the
excellent.
dice. Plus 6. I suspect that hits.
Mhm.
And that'll be 1 necrotic damage. Ha, ha, ha.
All right, cool. Yeah, he takes damage.
That's the warning.
and
That's the warning.
Rebecca,
Next
I have a
shots.
rapier.
you jump out,
Wow.
ching, stab around the
Do we
corner.
not want to ask questions?
Do you not want to cook? I think we're just gonna kill
This
him.
can be subdued.
So,
Oh, for all we know,
roll
he's
to
just
hit.
some dude who like
Yeah,
lives
yeah.
in around the warehouses
Roll
and
to
has
hit.
nothing
Yeah,
to
it's
do
just
with
an
it.
attack roll. You get an advantage. It is a surprise
Well, going
attack.
for muffle and threat, not actual
21 to
kill.
hit.
You can subdue.
And
Are you hit?
You do non-lethal damage with your attack.
this is non-lethal damage. With
Yeah,
my
you're just
attack.
smacking him with the butt of the rapier. It's a thing in D&D, apparently,
You
non-lethal
stab
damage.
him between every organ.
Yeah.
Magic.
Sticking-
10.
Yeah, it's alright. I have the same problem with it. But we're just,
But it
we're
is
just
in the
taking it on board.
10 damage.
Alright,
10 non-lethal damage.
Effectively, what you do is you just beat
10
them up, and then
non-lethal
at the end
damage.
you decide whether you kill them or not.
You put a
Because
band-aid
they're
on
already
there.
dead,
Give them a
really.
little
It's
kiss.
just a matter of thumbs up or
Uh,
thumbs down.
and Bernard, what do you do? Bernard.
I color spray.
What?
Color spray.
Ooh.
How
Just
very
because
English.
why not burn a
No,
spell
no,
slot
I'm
on this guy?
I'm gonna punch him in
Can
the
I be
face.
peeking around that and going, whoa, 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 what's going on?
No, I don't have the spell slots to stay. I'm actually just
Can
going
you
to
punch him
subdue
in the
him.
face?
I certainly can.
You're gonna
Grapple.
grapple? Okay, no. So make an attack roll with advantage because he's currently in a
Quite
duress.
a lot of
0
grapple.
damage.
Non-lethal punch to the face.
Pretty sure he hits people and heals them.
I'm grappling to restrain him.
Oh, he's already
Again, a more
But
effective
just in
cleric.
case, I let go, right?
You have
In
advantage.
some ways.
Well, he's grappled by me as well.
Yeah,
You have advantage.
that's probably like one person.
But, you know, this is the Archmage horse grappler.
Did you roll anything?
Yes, I rolled a 15 and I'm looking at my athletics, which is 0 because of
Alright,
shit.
cool. That's
Oh,
fine.
that's right. He did manage to
Yeah,
grapple
so
those
you have
horses.
all restrained this person. Say this person is like got like some blooded in the head with a rapier. He's like dazed and restrained. He's got eyes
Got an Archmage
looking
around
around.
his waist.
This is the first thing that hits you about being in such close proximity to this person who is now moving and has the various layers of their clothing moved for the first time in what you believe, now that you're so close, to be days. And a smell of filth and
Death?
almost yes, a smell of filth and death, but also a smell of like compost
Oh.
ushers from the body of the person.
That was actually better than I was expecting.
Is
Have
he
fun,
undead?
guys.
Because he shares a mind with other people, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently, that's why I said the moment we tipped him off, struck on
Like,
you.
Yeah, but he didn't know who I was.
That's right. He didn't know who you were. That's why
Right.
nothing happened
So
when you
it's
walked
death,
by him.
right? He smells like death. He's got the hive mind. I'm just gonna slash the dagger straight across the
Yeah,
throat.
that's fine. He's
Because the less he can
a
communicate,
puff
the better.
of black spore emerges from his throat and fills the air in the immediate environment. Everyone can make a dex save who is within 5 feet of him.
I'm grappling the dude.
Oh, far out.
No, I chill touched. I wouldn't want to get near him.
Hey.
Mushroom safety procedures. no
You
joke,
take 2
people.
points of damage.
9.
You take 1 point of damage.
10.
You take no damage.
Hey.
It's fine. You weren't
No, I told her. We should get Strakens inside. We should go and get it.
Right. Let's
No,
go.
well,
There's
we
like
know there
30
was
people
some
inside.
delay with communication. We did figure that out.
We only need to get
Well, it's probably best to just giant snake him straight from the get-go.
Also, the rest of the people in there are undead, right?
Probably.
I guess I've walked back around the corner.
We don't
Close
know
enough.
what's. We don't know. what's
Yeah,
in
if
there.
you want,
Okay.
these guys have jumped on this dude and
I
just
hear a
killed him.
kerfuffle, I turn around the corner, I'm like, oh, you killed him, okay.
You also hear a kerfuffle, and you peer over the edge, and you
The
see.
information.
Oh,
she might have
she's
seen.
killed
seen,
this
All
guy.
right, I'm
You
just
she's
gonna.
seen what we've done with contempt
Oh.
and outrage. She's looking.
I'm gonna shoot my my
Yeah.
scout or
You did see
sleeping
us,
homeless
right?
person.
Make a roll.
We didn't wait too long for her. to go.
Look, there's all those. Clearly, that person needed to die.
Well, he wasn't a person.
21.
Okay. Cool. See it?
6. Totally nailed that guy.
Looks down at thing, looks around,
Cunning action
sees
to
you.
hide.
Cunning action to hide.
You still get +10.
Yeah, I got 19.
Okay, cool. He stands up, starts getting onto the peak of the roof. So the arrow just still sticking out of his head. He's walking down, pulls a couple of large, flat, dull, rusty blades from either side. You see now bandages sort of like coming across. See a few bits just crumble out from underneath his armpit as he stands and starts shambling down.
Shoot him again.
Uh-huh.
That should hit him again. 22.
Yeah, that hits.
Beautiful.
Let's do better.
Hey.
She's not judging you, but she's
How many
totally.
dice are you rolling?
6.
Sneak attack.
14.
Not enough.
17.
Is it sneak?
17.
Because he's hidden.
Because I'm a
when he
noble.
attacks.
Oh, yeah.
So the so the one that was in his head goes and straight through, splitting the arrow in two, down into his skull. So it
Nobody was
reels
here to
back,
see that.
falls down, slumps and slides down in between the two buildings.
I give myself a pat on the back with
Arrow
mage
in
hand.
twain.
Good job.
You do start to see the movement. You see a light of a lantern and the movement of patrol and the battlements start to just move along. It's like
Cunning
about
action to hide.
6 people,
As in like wall patrol.
like wall patrol, like
Okay,
on the
cool.
wall, on the battlements.
But really, I think we should go inside and get struck.
Right
Oh
now.
yeah, totally.
Totally.
Right now.
That's yeah.
That's the next step.
We're
right?
in rounds.
22.
Right?
Yeah.
22.
To hide.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you can.
And it's kick the door in.
Kicking the door.
Wand and rod. Wand and staff.
We are a fan of making an entrance.
You don't become an archmage any other way.
We can actually just
We can
stealth
be
in.
stealthily going.
I'd still be back at
Just
Axe's
walk
Embrace
right
telling
in.
stories, but there was a time imperative.
We can actually stealth in.
We can stealth. Like, we're still
We can
stealthy,
pick
right?
the lock and stealth in because we still have
Isn't
in
the door wide
broad,
open?
bright daylight. It's magical stealth, so we can still have +10 to just be like through this little garden thing.
The
I'm
door's
good with that.
wide open, isn't it?
Yeah, the door's open.
So we can just go.
No,
and
it's not.
stealth-
Oh,
not
sorry,
open.
jokes. It's not open.
Okay, cool.
Totally
The
lying.
door is closed. On the other side of the door was a pile of boxes and broken barrels, next to which was like a homeless guy who you totally ganked.
Shall I knock this door?
Undead though.
Yes,
No,
an
get
undead
out.
homeless
That's
guy.
So
The worst
before we
kind of
go
homeless
in,
guys.
Can I cast
Come-
Bless?
Come down here and pick the lock.
Yeah.
I mean,
on my
come
way.
down here and find it open.
That's like.
We don't know anything about you picking locks.
Did I need to roll to climb down? Because if not, that'll be great on lock picking.
Didn't need to roll to come down, but you have to declare what it is you're rolling dice for before you roll.
Damn it!
So you
So
slide
I
down.
cartwheel down the side of the building.
The
That was a
elf,
natural
the
20.
elf, the elf just like magically appears next to you. Yeah, I wasn't up there. And you look at the door immediately
Yep.
and go, it's bolted from the inside. There's like probably a big heavy bolt.
Oh, heavier than 5 kilos, right?
Yes, definitely heavier than that.
Every bolt in Faerun is 5 kilos plus 10 grams. There's a little 10-gram sticker which is anti-mage hand. You just put it on things.
It's pretty standard issue, to be
Oh
honest.
look, it's got the warnings. I'm gonna have to bust a spell slot on this baby. Stand back. Archmage to the rescue.
Slowly burn.
It is gonna make. It is unfortunately gonna make some noise.
Can
Okay,
we,
well,
can we
before
try
we start, can I please cast
stealthy?
Bless
Yeah.
on the 3 people in our party who have the lowest health? You, Bless, you, Bless.
I wouldn't argue with it.
No, actually, I just
What have you?
can't battle.
Argue
I
between
have-
each other.
I have 21.
Yeah, you have less than me.
Bless.
Buddy starts waving his arms urgently.
Oh, touch me.
great.
I just like lean on you and I walk and I just go straight through Buddy.
Okay, cool. So now that you're meditated into, you can see what's going on inside. All right, so you suddenly
on the ground.
I think maybe cast
make a
spell
strength
like
roll,
a
sorry.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, really.
So by the way, guys, bless means that you have advantage. Oh no, you can add a D4
Six.
to saving.
Okay,
throws
how much do you care about
Nice.
and
Gus?
attack rolls.
I imagine it's one of those where like
Not
you
that
fall into
much.
them and you just
Like-
Okay, do you
To
want
be
to fall over or do you want him to hit the ground?
He's blessed.
Okay, so you flop on
Ah,
the
there you
table.
go.
I'm trying to
Cleric.
prove my use to the party at the moment.
So, on the ground, lying in Sarya's arms,
Careful, she's pointy.
will you wake up again? That's a willpower test. Okay, you look through the window and you see a vast warehouse. It's open down the center and then it's got two galleries either side. The galleries and beneath the galleries are stocked with grain, like bales and bales and bales of feed and grain and food and wine, and you see your barrels integrated into this as well. Like you see a few barrels that you recognize from Ellsdale and the Strakens, but there is a massive stockpile of food and supplies. There's 3 entire baggage trains worth of supplies in here. They could feed an army for months. And it's just stocked to the gills. In the center of the floor is a trough. A vast trough, 30 feet wide, or 40 feet wide even. And upon it is just these seething organic mounds of matter and substance. The full 100 feet in length of the warehouse. Moving around on little wooden planks, tending to them are, or still a few of these apparently workers, just moving them over, tending things. Every now and again you see like a couple of little fingers just seeping into the mass. A couple of bits, maybe the side of a face just rising and moving back into the form. The form itself seems to be a living, breathing fungus, laying in a huge square farm type situation that Buddy described earlier. You do, however, also see 20 of these workers rushing towards the door. 2 of which are already at the door by the bolts, about to throw it open. At the far end of the room, kind of to the left-hand side, you see rising from a seat, the face of a man that you've never seen before. He
He's
is
got the circlet on.
tall, slender, gaunt face. He wears a long green robe, upon which is a fur-trimmed black cloak, hooded cloak, and at his side he has 2 rapiers. He has several circlets around his hands and a circlet around his head. He throws back his hood as he stands and looks curiously towards the door. He seems to be focusing in a distant sense on something.
Buddy squints at him because he knows he is evil. And he makes this noise.
The cruelest blow.
Oh, that's the bonfire symbol, international symbol.
You also notice that several of the people, two of the people running to the door in the group, seem to have grabbed longbows and torches.
Okay.
The rest of them are armed.
Yeah.
You want to
Armed.
communicate with us?
Are or aren't armed?
Are. The
Okay.
rest of
I'm
them
like,
are armed.
pick up my drink. Strakens in there. There's about 20 people about to throw open that door in about 10
Cool.
seconds. And they've got
You see a
bows
movement
and they're all
sliding.
Alright, I'm not casting knock on that door anymore, let's put it that way.
armed. But right on the other side of that door.
I'm gonna draw my sword and put my shield out.
Also, you
Human
Like-
plum.
We're still stealthy, right?
giant. We are still
Yes.
stealthy.
You are still stealthy, yes.
So we just
I'm not
wait
the
for them to
stealthy
walk
kind.
out and just.
We are supernaturally able to stealth at the moment, so if we just move slightly away from the door and went, it would be hard for them to find us.
Okay. So
I'm gonna stand at the door with my sword out and my shield out.
But you can do it stealthily,
Oh
right?
no. Not
well, you've
attempting
walked
stealth.
back out from the alley and
Okay.
you're standing in the middle of
And
the
I hear
street
the-
facing the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will stand more stealthily near the door with my sword out and my shield out.
Did I get the chance to snaffle one of those awesome composite bows?
Yes.
And if so, what does it do?
It's basically a longbow, except
Oh.
that it's small and you can carry it around.
Awesome. It looks
So it's easier to conceal. It's a longbow, essentially.
Can I peer through the door, see the square that's immediately behind the door, cast bonfire in that square, and then back away?
I think
stealthily.
the guy's already at the door.
Yeah, they're
The
opening
sounds
the
that
door.
you're hearing right now are of them moving. So let's just everybody roll initiative, please.
It's for the best.
Sorry, what do you do?
Um,
As you hear the sounds of people scraping the giant bolt off the back of the door.
so I cast. I don't cast anything. I ready in action.
2.
To cast Toll of the Dead
Mhm.
on the first thing that comes out of the door.
Okay, great.
And I just move back, like I don't want the door to swing over and hit me.
Yep.
Is
Again.
my main concern.
Yeah, that's fine.
Lessons learned.
Yeah, that's what I do. I can't do it. Yeah.
All right. Spear. What do you do?
What do I do?
As you hear the bolt sliding off the door.
Yes.
I ready my sword
Okay.
and shield.
Yep. And you're ready in action to attack anything that comes through the
attack
door.
the first thing that comes to the door
Alright.
that is within melee range.
And Thea.
I'm gonna cast Blade Ward.
Nice.
Yeah. Trace my sigil, and I am now protected.
Okay.
Well, I have resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, and damage, because clearly that will probably happen to me.
Quite
Yeah.
possibly.
And I will skip more stealthily back.
Cool.
Dagger's ready.
Pearl.
I'm going to back off a little bit across the street and try and hide while pulling out my not a longbow and readying an action to shoot somebody
Okay. Cool.
from a hidden position.
Yep. You step in and hide. And Augustus.
I'm going to take fungal form
Mhm.
and cast shillelagh.
All right. Awesome. You have a giant whacking stick. Bernard. You step in front of the door, look through the crack as it sort of pulls back, and you can see that spot on the ground.
That's your spot.
Archmage.
I'm going to
Know who hit him.
bonfire the square inside the door and then try and scramble back.
All right, cool. You do so, and you scramble back to one side of the doorway.
Yeah.
All right, duck out of the way. Fire bursts up inside, so you can all see a flash of light coming through the doorway. And a bolt is lifted up and is then just dropped immediately on the ground. And the doors kind of swing open a little bit, buying you all another round before any other action takes place.
Oh, okay.
So, Saya.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna just step back a little bit further. Actually, I realize I have to put my sword away. And I will ready in action to cast Toll of the Dead on anyone that looks injured.
Okay. Cool.
And
Yeah.
can I make it that?
Yeah,
it's-
that's fine. You
yeah.
see someone who's injured, taking some
Take it.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Spear, you stand in anticipation.
I consider getting a javelin instead of the sword, and then I decide no, I definitely am going to stick with the sword.
You don't want to step to within 5 feet of the door and hold the sword.
I'm not going to. I don't think I'm going to get that close. I'm going to stay
Okay.
within.
The doors do open outwards, by the
Yes,
way.
that's one of the reasons why. I'm going to stay within range of these guys, like try and keep the same line
Okay.
as where other people are generally, so I'm not running forward.
Thea.
I'm pep talking myself. I'm good with daggers. Don't let the last fight tell me otherwise. And, and steadying myself, but staying quite hidden because I'm going to wait and take advantage
Throw
of
them,
that.
don't poke them.
So you're preparing an action to attack the first thing that comes through the door.
Yep.
Has the door open wide enough to see through the door at all?
Yeah, you can see a few figures moving around.
I'm just going to plug one of them in the face.
Awesome.
That will hit a 19.
Absolutely hits.
Great. Let's see how in the face it got. 8. Oh, sorry, plus that. 11.
Cool. You hit a guy in the face.
And then I'll hide.
Awesome.
Cunning.
It is cunning, and they're still not able to see you. Justice.
Moving back a bit, I'm going to chill touch the guy that just got the arrow in the face.
Yep, certainly.
That'll definitely hit. 7 necrotic damage.
Cool. Nice.
And then he makes a Constitution save, DC 14.
Passes.
Of course he does.
This guy's been working out.
I think that's worked once, hasn't it? I think it's worked once.
No, you're thinking about the spores.
Yeah.
Alright, and... Bernard.
Alright, I tussle my hair, look up at these guys saying in a menacing way, like some nightmare summoning, weird Bernard kind of way. Let's do this. And then I sort of slink forward up to the crack of the door.
Yep.
A little pinch of powdered sand, colour spray, second level cone, 15 foot through the door.
Okay.
And
Door's
then
open just a little bit.
Yep. I'm just doing the point of the cone.
And
is
people are
originate.
avoiding the center of the doorway where that is because there's a bonfire there.
Yeah, but I'm trying to blast out past that into the people that are now milling.
They've kind of moved either side of it.
But there's a... Alright, so there's nobody behind the bonfire? I don't know.
No, there's a few people, like 3 maybe.
15 foot cone.
Yep.
That's...
You'll catch 2 people.
With a 15 foot cone?
Yeah, in this specific circumstance, yes.
Can I have...
Just hold off.
Wonder.
Yeah, just use that Rod of Wonder.
It may or may not be good or bad for them.
Or us.
Sure.
all
There is a
right.
non-shot person that I can see, like the guy without an arrow in his head.
Yeah.
Different target. Alright, well... Poke the wand in through the hole and...
It's open about 2 feet.
Well, zap one of the guys in the back there.
Well, make your roll.
By back, I mean back. Yeah, okay,
Let's roll more.
This is 31. Let's find out what that means. Wand of Wonder, 31. Heavy rain falls in a 60-foot radius centered on the target. The area becomes lightly obscured. The rain falls until the start of your next turn.
Is it about the fire then?
No, magic fire.
Magic fire.
That's fine!
Yeah!
Woohoo!
Though to be fair, I would be
Hitting it from both
confused.
directions.
Heavy rain, I don't know, maybe it does clear the fire. I don't know what my bonfire can take.
Right? Thunderous rain starts pouring down inside the warehouse.
Their crops
And
are
outside
ruined!
at 60 foot.
Or they're getting really well watered.
Yeah. And a little bit immediately outside the door as well. So where you guys are all like... Except for where Spear is. Spear is just beyond the reach of the rain, and you see this sheet of rain start pounding down in front of you, and on top of everybody who is around the doorway.
Racing.
Okay, cool. Those guys, they're all caught off guard at the rain.
Touch surprised.
And you hear some cursing happening. And then they all rush the door, pushing into the street. So now the doors fling open. One of the door on one side sort of crashes up against the barrels and boxes and is now left clean ajar. And then the other one swings around completely, smashing up against the wall. You see a group of people. Many of them holding torches that they're looking at, confused with their tapers that they're being put out. And another one of them thought very quickly and is now holding the torch beneath a coat that is still burning.
Hang on a minute.
Kill that one first.
A thinker.
All right. So, and they all push out and they're rushing. So all of your held actions go off. One immediately rushes to within range of you, Spear.
Excellent. I will throw my sword at it with my hand.
Do you let go?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Throwing it in a striking motion. Okay. Oh, I don't hit it though, because I rolled an 8.
Yeah, that doesn't hit.
You should have
I
blessed
love
yourself.
going into these battles with
Well,
You gotta back
I was
yourself.
really
Can't
ready,
constrain,
but
right?
Is that even with
apparently
your
I was
plus one?
nervous.
Even with your +1 on the magical weapon.
Yes.
Okay.
It's still only an 8.
We're put off by the rain.
So, sorry, you had a held action?
Yes. So if is anyone the person
One
that's
of them
injured?
arrow in
I'm
his
guessing
face.
someone is within 5 feet of that person as everyone's rushing out.
Yeah, there's a couple of people who seem to be injured by the bonfire.
Alright, so I get to target 2 people.
Uh-huh.
They both, I speak the hurting word.
Yep.
And they both,
How are you doing this? Are you twinning it or something?
no, it's my special power.
Wow.
I get one.
Extra hurdy
Elf
word.
privilege.
Yeah. And they both have to make wisdom saving throws.
So you're saying you're bringing double pain in the rain?
Cool. And how much damage does it do? They both fail.
I get to do 1d12 to both of them.
Cool.
It's slow, but
3 to one of them.
Mhm.
And 2 to the other.
And
But I look awesome.
Yeah, it looks great.
well done.
Just use to rise your hands around and to make the sound, and from that 2 twin specters just sort of ride out. And yeah, anyone can make a religion check on that if they want.
Sure.
Right.
I was classically educated.
Fail.
Ooh, hang on. Yeah, 18.
15.
Not quite. It's a bit obscure. You
You're totally
recognize
busted.
one of them is definitely Shah. The other one you don't recognize. You recognize both of them. One
Yeah.
is an aspect of Shah. The other is an aspect of Salune.
You are.
complicated woman.
Oh, but on the
No
plus
one
side,
understands,
you're
so-
both learning each other's secrets today.
And nobody else understands your secret language.
It's true.
Yeah,
But as it
it's
just
true.
turns out, you're both dodgy bastards.
I only have minimal Elvish at this point in time.
Were there any other held actions? Did you?
Yeah,
Yep.
I did. I had my daggers ready after my pep talk.
Yes.
Yes, I
Now-
can do this.
Now
Can
pepper
do
them with
this.
Somebody's
daggers.
lost the high moral ground.
Damn it. I was so looking forward to that confrontation with me being like, I'm clean.
Papa.
So I'm just waiting till someone
only
runs
person you're
past
lying
me
to is
and just
yourself.
going straight for a.
Yeah, great. Someone's running right past you.
Yeah. And my pep talk didn't work.
You get a plus.
Are you?
roll a
You're hidden
D4.
though, yes.
Oh,
You're,
no,
you're
it's not
blessed.
enough.
So
I
roll
am
a D4.
blessed. I roll. Well, that's my help. Alright.
You can get it over the line, actually. That's
Oh,
good.
that's better. So now I have 7 plus 5.
That's actually a
Just
plus
12.
20 now.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
I do mine. Oh, yep, excellent damage. But that's plus 5. So
Wow.
I was just doing a normal attack because all of my bonus marking seems to be pretty pathetic these days. So
You're-
it'll be
you're-
6 damage.
All right, cool.
Maybe if you're throwing, I think you get chuck its second one.
I do, but I'm just letting them come out first.
Poking him.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So they all rush out. You've swung at one.
I missed.
You missed. Two of them engage you.
So, using that thing.
What's your armor class at the moment?
20.
Okay.
Don't hit me.
I ignore them.
Straight roll.
I will it with my 20 armor class.
So,
Yeah, they both miss.
That's the good willpower right there.
I
And the rest of
intimidate
them are
with the
looking
shininess
around
of my
for
armor.
people. Who is not hidden at this point?
no,
As in-
Specifically taken an action to hide.
Yes. Who's not?
Who's not hidden?
Oh,
That's
not
correct.
hidden.
I don't think I think we're all out except for you.
No, I'm as far in as I can get.
All right, cool.
because
So
you
they're
have to
not
take the
really
high
noticing
action.
you. They're not really noticing you because you guys are both like hidden away. But one each goes to the 3 of you. Bernard misses, Sarya misses, and Gus misses. They're all just pushing. It actually give me perception rolls, guys. Everyone who's engaged in combat, you two spear.
24.
Whoa,
18.
19.
Yeah, they seem like they're fighting very defensively. So
Interesting.
they're taking
Lame.
it's harder for them to hit you, but they're trying to avoid being hit by you and just hold ground as much as anything else. Now, what they've done is they've created an opening, however, to one side, through which, because you guys have all either pushed to the sides of the warehouse quite a while, except for Spear, who's right in the middle at the front. So 2 have tried to engage her particularly, and then a group of 5 have run through and done a dash action, and now seem to be forming a cordon. 4 of them are forming a cordon around the other one, who is now pulling his torch out and his bow out, and he seems to be setting light to some arrows. And you see there's another line of people sort of pushing up, about to run out next turn. And we go back to the top of the round. So sorry, what are you doing?
So the one lighting the arrows.
Yes.
I'm gonna target with.
There's like literally a wall of people who are like shoulder to shoulder protecting, and they've got like blades out.
Can I see them?
2 of them have shields. Yeah, you can. Can you see the person who's lighting the arrow?
Yeah.
You can see the firelight. So technically, you could see them. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead on 2 of them.
These ones haven't been injured.
That's fine. I'm just gonna
do it.
Burning Wood.
We're going to tell them a little premonition of their death.
Is that
They die together.
Now, even more next round.
It sounds like you're going to be in pain.
Yeah.
Including the one with the arrow?
Yeah.
Fine, cool.
So that would be they have to make wisdom saving throws.
Okay, neither of them make it.
Great. So that would be D8.
D10s, isn't it?
No, D8. 1 gets 3. The other gets 5.
It's an improvement from last time.
Okay. Cool. They both take some injury. Spear.
Is there one in striking range?
Yeah, there are 2 right up against you, and then there are more.
You're standing toe to toe with 2.
Yeah, you're standing toe to toe with 2 at the moment.
Okay, well I'm going to strike at one of those that is close to me. We're trying to push our way in, right? No. I don't hit.
Whatever you do. Why not?
13?
Not a wizard.
Yeah, 13.
Total? Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that hits.
Oh, yay!
They're not really wearing any armor. A couple of them have shields. They're not warriors. They're dressed like farmers.
Take this.
And I do 12 damage.
All right, cool.
Take that. My fancy sword.
This one has been damaged, so you just swing across, do a nice straight cut up through the soft tissue area in the ribs. A big puff of black spore starts coming out as it tears through, breaking open his rib cage. He sort of slumps back, flailing around on the floor, eyes staring wildly at the buildings around him.
Okay, you're taking an actual move towards the door.
Okay, one of them's going to get an attack of opportunity, unless you just want to swing around to the other side of them without breaking out of their space.
Swing around to the other side then, yeah.
Alright,
sure.
cool. Awesome. Do you want to... You will be engaged by more shortly.
I understand that.
Alright, good, just making sure. Alright, cool. And...
She understands her role.
Awesome.
I see.
Thea.
Bonus knifing now, I think. Now I've, got at least something under my belt.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go for the double throne
Mm-hmm.
at just 2 who are coming out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
9, but I don't get the bonus. No, because I already used it.
For extra damage.
No, you get it every time.
Every time.
Yeah, it never stops.
Oh,
So add the D4 to it.
13. No, I have to roll the D4. What a shame.
Oh,
Not
1.
10. Alright, and the second one, 16.
Woo!
Okay, cool. That hits.
Plus 2.
What's needed?
And then I do.
You'll
Damage.
do whatever the dice is plus 15.
Plus 15.
19.
Sharpshooter.
This was the
Oh, yes, of course.
penalty for plus
Yes,
10.
yes, of course. -5, plus 10. Yes!
Are you level 4?
The sharpest shooting.
No, because I
you
don't have any other
throw-
great skills.
Are you human variant?
Yes.
And you throw...
Pretty
I
variant.
totally know what's going on.
What was it, 19? You aiming
Yeah.
one of the injured ones who
Just
came out?
can't ask that.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
throw the dagger straight ahead at this guy. It's like just goes thunk inside of his brain. He's like looks around for a second, takes like 2 more steps, raises his sword and then just falls to the ground.
Was that the one of the guys running new? Or
It was one of the
guy
new
with
group
fire?
running, one of the rest of them running out.
Yeah, I'm just letting them run past me
Yeah,
while
cool.
still sort of slightly around the corner.
Yeah.
Not looking like a
Particular threat. Yeah, no, you're a bit out of the way and you're a bit back from the door. Harold.
Guy trying to light the arrows. Do
Yep,
I
so
have a
he's
bead
got a
on him
cordon
yet?
of people around him, which means he's got cover from anyone trying to throw or shoot anything at him.
Okay. I'm gonna try and shoot him anyway.
You'll have disadvantage.
What's the worst that'll happen? That's the worst that'll happen.
No. That's also what happened.
That's 6.
Did you roll a natural one?
Yes.
Okay. So the bow slips.
Oh,
You're very unused to the high tension of this as it sort of whips along your arm. It's like a really high sting. You go, ah, and sort of like just drop the bow and the arrow you're holding and clutter. And now everyone in the environment is aware of you and where you are.
For a second.
Ooh!
Jazz hands back into the shadows.
That's a 25.
Okay, awesome. Yes, you have. They all look at you and then you go.
But there's a bow lying on the ground.
Augustus.
I look at the guy with the arrow. I'm like, and the arrow goes and snuffs out.
He hasn't lit it yet. He's going to light it.
No, the torch.
Oh, the torch. Okay.
I just want to see this going over and over again. Light it. Light it.
And just for being ballsy, he can make a DC 14 constitution.
What are you casting?
Druidcraft.
Oh, you can make fires go
I
on.
can snuff out flames.
And
Where have you
what's
been
the-
all my life? We are the perfect team!
What's the range on your spores? I'm assuming the DC is
10 feet.
All
10
those
feet. He's
people
not within
put it
10
out
feet.
with
Oh, okay,
water
no,
and
You'd
it
have to
was
like
gone.
really approach him. Okay, but you stop out the thing.
It does take some emotional damage. so-
Yeah, because your beautifully timed chaos rain put out every other fire except his.
Including the bonfire. For a minute there, it was like, yeah, we've got access to all the fire in the world, but
No fires.
not so.
No more fires. I turned to him like, no fires. There's an entire month's worth of food in there for the city.
Oh, that's true.
Months
We
of
don't know how
3 months of
tainted it is,
food.
Okay, alright.
I can
Thank you.
untaint. I can untaint.
Thank you for telling me
No
that
fire.
information.
Burn it.
Burn
Fire.
it. Don't burn it.
They reach into the pocket that I had gone for the coloured dust before. There's a little cluster right there, right?
Mhm.
Of guys around that.
Oh yeah, spray these guys.
Yeah, there's like
Colour
full
spray.
10 people. They're all in the cone.
Granite spray, level 2. So I'll bust out the max thing. That's 8d10 hit points.
Do they just
Of
look...
blindness.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if they were just going to look pretty.
Spell, that's crazy.
Of blindness?
Colour
colour
spray.
spray
I'll
does.
read it for you.
Oh.
A dazzling array of flashing coloured light springs from your hand. Roll 60-10, but I'm casting it at second level. The total is how many hit points of creatures the spell can affect. Creatures in a 15-foot cone originating from you are affected in ascending order of their current hit points.
Okay.
Starting with the creature that has the lowest current hit points.
Roll your dice.
And so it's 8d10.
Neatly.
It's 9. And 18. And 7. And 36.
And whatever the other one is.
And 44. And that's my 8d10. 44 hit points.
Nice.
Okay, the first two guys in the front row are just like, ah! And they can't see shit. They're like, ah! 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 They seem to start moving in strange directions.
Okay.
Cool.
No one died?
It's not damage.
Oh,
It
sorry.
blinds.
Sorry, blinds. Sorry.
Pretty light.
And then having done that, I'll move to a point where I can kind of get as line of sight as deep into the warehouse as possible through this.
Okay, cool. So you run to Spear's position, essentially. Do you want to run to be next to Spear?
Okay.
Yeah, and between the legs, and like Spear, who's like at torso level. But from your like lowly level, as you sort of slide in, and you're now within striking distance of several of these guys, putting yourself in danger.
That's not cool.
This is a mob of people rushing out the center there.
Two of them can't see though.
No, I'll hold my current position and let them come to me. Actually.
Okay, cool. Give me a perception roll.
We need to get Strakens as well.
I just need to be able to see him and I can just start killing him.
My
You get
perception
inside
is
that warehouse.
11.
Let's not dally out here.
I'll just go.
Okay, cool. Perception of 11. Yeah, it's hard to see what's going on. So much movement here and there.
It's good to clear it.
All right,
We
so-
haven't played it.
In their turn,
Actually, we'll move to Spear. I'm doing it.
okay, cool. Yeah, you guys are side by side now, back to back, together again, taking you back to the battlefield.
Yeah.
All right, and these guys push out. Now, 2 rush to you, 2 rush to you. Spear, you now have 4 around you, some of which are damaged. 2 are running your general direction, and they're going to try and find you. What did you get on that hiding roll?
25.
Almost, but they are trying to find you.
Good luck, farmers.
And 2 rush to you, Thea. And then the rest of them are outside, and a few more of them join the group, and they move farther away down the street back towards the pie shop. And
Not the pie
4 more,
shop.
so there's now 6 of them, because there were 20 people who rushed towards the door total. 10 people stayed inside farming. And now 6 people are sort of moving in a blob around the person who's seems to be trying to reignite his taper that went out, with no real success this turn. But they are making distance away from you. And they attack. So,
Could we take down Strakens?
2 guys hitting
They all go
Augustus. What's your armor class at the moment, Augustus?
18.
They both hit on 18.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
They
Man,
do
these
9
farmers
points of
are
damage
working
between them.
Well, that's good.
Okay, cool. Saria, what's your armor class at the moment?
16.
They both miss. Heral, they're looking around for you.
I'm like right behind him.
Yeah, they're within 10 feet of you. They're like, where is he? Thea, what's your armor class at the moment?
15.
1 hits. There's 5 points of damage. Bernard, you got 2 on you.
2.
Yay. You join me in the front line.
They're stabbing spear.
Oh, actually, I have my blade ward.
Oh yeah. What's that? Oh, resistance.
Resistance.
So minimal damage.
Yep, but what's your armor class at the moment?
15.
Cool, they both miss.
Okay.
That'll run out. That only lasts a round. Doesn't it? It's a cantrip.
And
That's one
Spear,
round.
what
So
is your
one
armor class at the
round.
moment?
Oh, so I'll just take the
20.
damage.
No, well, there's no
no,
damage.
20.
1 manages to hit you.
Silly.
You dodged the damage.
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage.
Did you get touched? These guys are serious.
Yeah,
Man,
man.
we underestimated these guys.
I've only got 22 more hit points.
Um,
Gonna have to
Look
one
at
hit
that
kill another one.
mark
So,
on your
I
robe.
know. The people running towards the pie shop, they're different to the people trying to light the things.
No, they're a group
Yeah.
of 5 people clustered around one person who's trying to light the taper again, and they've moved another 20 feet, so they moved 10 feet away from you to start with. You cast the Druidcraft, now they've moved a full 30 feet away from you, and the rest of them are all pushing up against you, trying to trap and constrain you
I
guys.
don't want to see him as a distraction.
They're trying to keep you away from this group who's trying to light this. And that's their action this turn. So there are actually, you see some other members of this group who are running away, trying to sort of spark up tapers as well now that they're away from the rain. But they haven't succeeded this
The
turn.
rain stopped now, hasn't it?
It was just one
Yes.
turn. Yeah. Cool.
How does the spark up takers once they're soaking wet though? Everything is sopping wet.
They're trying to not. They have things
Well,
beneath
they weren't
their
heavy
clothes. There are sticks on the ground.
Yeah.
They're trying to make do. They haven't succeeded this turn. Perhaps they will next turn. We'll find out. Next on their exciting adventures of the Siege of Mirabar. So,
Next
top of the
on the
round,
Wonder Wonder.
Saya, you have
They
2
come
people.
first.
They
Yeah.
just look
Pie
like
shop.
ordinary
Personal.
town people, refugees, particularly probably from small towns, come to the city, they've been swamped in, but they're rabid, and you can tell they're infected.
Do not care.
That's our cleric.
These group of 5, they're still within 60 feet.
They're still within 60
Can
feet
I
of
see
you.
the person in the center?
Give me a perception roll. Because you've got 2 people who are on you.
23. 22, sorry.
22. Alright, cool. Yeah, you catch sight of it.
Okay, so the one that's injured and the one that's in the middle who's also injured.
Yep.
I'm gonna toll the dead.
Awesome.
So wisdom saving.
What's the difficulty?
13.
17 and 18, they are both fine.
No. They're onto your tricks.
Alright, well, that's what I can do.
Awesome. Okay, spear.
Okay.
These 4 surrounded by 4 people, and there are 2 kind of blinded people stumbling within your vicinity.
I'm gonna attack the closest one with my sword.
You gonna use the power?
I don't think well, I mean, that would just make me dodge, right?
No. Okay, so the power of the sword, if you use it, means everyone takes damage within 5 feet of you takes damage equal to your level,
Okay, I'll use that then.
and everyone within 5 feet of you who's friendly
Gets-
counts as having taken a dodge action.
yes.
Oh man.
That's pretty cool.
Which
Yeah,
means
I've got
Bernard,
enough
at
of
this
them around
point,
me
now
at
it's
this
a disadvantage for anyone to hit Bernard if you use it.
Woohoo!
And you can sustain it turn after turn by spending an action.
I guess I'm praying then.
Okay, so you take the
What
sword.
already? What kind
you-
of paladin are you?
Huh?
You're paying all
Okay,
the time.
what is your prayer?
Oh no, I have to go with prayer. I
Oh god.
6 seconds. Jeez, it's only a 6-second prayer.
Oh my god, I got a panic.
That's the
Good
prayer.
enough.
Oh god, I'm gonna panic. That is done. Prayer sorted.
Okay, I pray to the Justice Maker beneath their silver wings to give me the light of their eyes and punish
Sounds
those
like
around
18
me.
seconds for me. That'll cover the next
That's
3 rounds.
great.
All right, so you don't need to make any
I don't have
rolls.
to roll.
No, you don't need to roll. You just draw
It's a
your
really
sword,
fancy
you
trick.
hold it aloft, or you just hold it in defensive position,
that's
and
not-
suddenly everybody can see a red, radiant glow start to emanate from her sword and move and bathe 5 feet around her in this red, radiant energy. Bernard, you feel yourself sort of filled with a zeal and a sort of a quickness,
This is it.
as it were. And people who try and focus on you with strikes find it you hard to place. You find it easy to avoid. You can see their actions as they come in. At the same time, you see the essence of their being start to burn and
takes an
disintegrate. And they all take 3 points of damage.
Sweet.
We can be moving and doing this. Heading to Strakens.
Yeah, you can use them. You can move. It just takes
just
it
can't
takes
take
an
any other
action.
actions.
That's correct. While you maintain
So
it.
30 feet around.
Also,
5
I'm
feet
pretty
range.
sure all the damage is
Radiant.
radiant.
That's correct.
Yes,
Which has certain effects on certain creatures.
it's true. That's why I thought I mentioned it.
It's important. And these 2 other ones who are kind of blinded and stumbling around, they
Having a bad
are
day.
within range and also take a point of damage. Okay, Thea.
I had 2 coming towards me.
Yeah, they're not just coming towards you. They've got you pinned in a corner. They're between you and where Spear is.
Okay.
That's
Are
where I'm
they
going.
Melee or range? Where am I at now?
You're in melee at the moment.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to just use my normal stabby.
Just the regular kinds of stabbing.
Regular kind of stabbing, not fancy
You-
stabbing.
No fancy stabs.
Oh good, I could roll a 2.
You could
Plus
also
my
disengage and start pegging it towards Straken.
That's probably a better
Because then you could
option.
just throw a daggers at him.
Yeah, they get a
Straken
chance
is
of
at the
opportunity,
other end of
though.
the
If you
warehouse, like 100
disengage,
feet
though.
away.
Yeah, 100 feet though.
Disengage
Take
action,
disengage, run
you don't
30
get
feet. You're only now 60, 70 feet away from.
Most of them are around the
Well, I'm pinned down.
Yeah.
I've got to get out.
He's 100 feet away.
Yeah.
Can I see him?
We need to
Not from your current position.
identify as they start though.
You're currently surrounded. You tried to look in earlier. You didn't get a sightline.
I got attack of 7. It's not
But if
going.
they
Oh, with
burn
my
the outside of
blessing?
the warehouse, I need to
Woo,
stay outside and
10.
put it out.
Not quite. You missed. Would you like to do anything with
The
your
12
movement
gets
action?
five. Put it along the
Can
side,
I
23.
disengage and start working towards?
Hmm?
That looks. I want to join the red glowing team.
All right, cool. Yeah, you
because I want to be
disengage.
part of this story.
You disengage and slip up and just go back to back with spear. And suddenly again you feel that celerity enter your body. You feel like you can read the movements that are coming towards you. You feel infused with strength and you see them fighting just to get closer to you. And the other ones, they pull in and fall in behind you, trying to get closer to this. Peril.
All right. Do I have any sight lines into the thing to strike an at all?
You've kind of like ducked around the corner behind some things. There are these
Yep.
two guys who are stalking you. They don't
Yeah,
quite know
fuck
where
these
you
guys.
are. They haven't found you, but you're hidden from them. You're the furthest from the group
Okay.
and the furthest from the doorway.
Can I basically close, back up the street, up the window, in the window, start some hiding and sniping?
Give me a stealth roll,
Do it.
or just run flat out.
Actually, the stealth was probably alright.
What'd you get?
17.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
That's not
They,
that bad.
they do not. One of them doesn't see you. The other one sort of like last minute turns around, sees you, and gets an attack of opportunity. As you run up, misses,
Good.
and you get to the wall.
Yep.
Make a dex roll to climb.
Yep, straight up. That's better. 21.
Cool. Yeah. You shimmy up the surface and go you full 20 feet up the side.
Yep.
You're now.
I think I get even further.
Oh really?
Second story work gives me extra climbing stuff. Climbing no longer costs me extra movement, and I can jump further.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So if you're using your dash action to do this, you can clean up onto the roof and out of their sightline.
Yep, cool.
Alright,
Can
awesome.
I get in the window instead and try and hide as my bonus
The
action?
window is narrow.
Yep.
So,
So am I.
you can and it's a glass window.
So am I.
Okay.
Next turn I can try and kick the window.
Yeah, because you made a dash action
Yeah.
to get up there. So next turn you can figure it out. But you ascertain it's probably not going to be too hard to open. Like your thieves'
Yep.
tools don't even need to make a roll. You'll be able to
Cool.
lever it open and get inside during the
Awesome.
next turn.
Noble style.
Augustus.
I'm going to take my stick
Mhm.
and throw it into the warehouse and summon
Okay.
Charlie.
That's good.
All right,
stick.
awesome.
Go, Charlie! Go!
All right, so these guys aren't going to stop you from throwing away your weapon because it doesn't make sense to them. You're like, okay,
Conceivably
but
large snake.
give me a dexterity roll to try and throw it past all this action.
That's a 19
That is
plus
meant to
3 is
be.
21.
Clatter, clatter, clatter. Slither, slither, slither. As this stick unravels into this giant 60-foot python.
There's a lot of snake in that stick.
And so it rears up and looks down in the direction and looks back to you and then starts kind of moving in your direction
No,
to
it's
defend you.
going. It's going. Stricken Town.
Alright, so you're getting it to move towards the end. So can you
Distract that guy.
telepathically?
Yeah, I command it.
Okay. Get that man. It seems... it sees the man, starts moving down towards the end of the building. That's you,
It's so big it can just stretch out.
Bernard.
Doesn't even need to move its tail.
Ooh, if you could hold on to the tail, maybe
I'm
you can
currently
Just
in
like-
a battle zone that's
I'm
becoming
right.
denser as people rush up.
That's right.
Like the
You've got, like,
information sandworm
8
argument.
people around you at this point. But they're all fighting through this red haze
And taking damage from it.
and taking damage from it.
You're gonna die, and you're gonna die. Saying
Totally
the bad
dead.
things. Boom.
Alright, so one of them you're targeting, 18. He's unfortunately.
Yeah,
That's
it makes
Toll the
it
Dead, yeah. So it gets his endurance saving throw.
Save a lot.
Cool. Alright, in their action, so these. We've got 2 guys. Everybody first, they take the damage in your turn. So I've got 4 people. 3 people are going to swing in at you, spear. 1 is... Oh, they're all disadvantaged. So
Oh, disadvantage. Yes.
guess none of them hit. 2 of them are going to
Staring
swing
them
at
all
Bernard. Both of them
Holding
miss.
my
I can
sword.
tell you, disadvantage is not fun.
2 of them are going to swing at you. They all miss. You see them, they're all really struggling
In
to
the red
fight
zone,
through this
it's like
red
the slow
haze.
motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, they slowly, their
Even
outer
got time
skin
for
is
slow motion
disintegrating.
high five.
Their clothes are starting to fall off. And then they've got the 2 who are pushing you into the corner, swinging an attack. That's your arm class at the moment.
18.
Okay, one of them just hits. 4 points of damage. Swinging in with like rusty short sword. just catches you slashing across your shoulder. These guys who are out here, they're gonna try and use some wildcraft. So one of them gets a light.
Oh no.
Lights an arrow. They moved 20 feet further, so they're now like 50 feet away from you. And the other one lit his arrow. It was snuffed. He was the one who was protecting it. And then he pulls up and just draws and aims to the air in the direction of the wall and throws a shot.
Can I catch it on the way past?
Shoot it on the
You
way
didn't have a
past.
held
Come
action.
on.
But you see it rising high into the air. It's gone. It's full range up into the air, and at that point, its
That's not
apex
great.
is above the wall.
That's a sign.
They're telling someone something.
As a mysterious signal is launched high above the walls of Mirabar, the 3rd Daggerford irregulars, tired and fatigued though they may be, knuckle down and press on with only one thought lingering in the forefront of their minds, burning in legacy of the horror they continue to witness. Straken must die. The hard-fought end is in sight, but how will events unfold? Tune in next week for the thrilling conclusion to the second arc in Tabletop Dynasties' ongoing Dungeons & Dragons campaign, The Siege of Mirabar.